Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. We're back after the international break. It's Manchester United against Watford. I've currently got Chelsea versus Leicester on. Maddison's just put a lovely cross in, and Vardy should have scored, really. He's headed it way over the bar. But Chelsea comfortable in that game. I think we were sort of hoping that today, I expect us to beat Watford, but maybe Chelsea would drop points and Ollie could start to go, look, we're only 6 points off the top. We're not. We're going to be 12 points off the top before we've kicked a ball. And if we win, we'll be 9 points off the top. So Chelsea looking very, very comfortable in that game. Of course, we play Chelsea next week as well, that's for next week. This is for this week. Got to win today. Lots of rumours about what the early team's news is going to be. We've heard it could be McDonny, which is McTominay and Donny. I would definitely expect to see Jadon Sancho starting. But I think the big thing for me is we are 7 minutes away from the team news coming out. There's not really any leaks of what the team's going to be. But if you think about the Leicester game and you think about the Liverpool game and you think about the Man City game, he picked basically the same team for 3 games. 8 or 9 players were the same players. The reaction to that Man City game should not be, well, we've had 2 weeks off and everyone's training really well. It doesn't matter whether they've had 2 weeks or 2 days off. It was an embarrassment against Man City. They may as well have walked out with white flags. 3 or 4, maybe even 5 players should be dropped if you're a proper manager. Because we might beat Watford if he doesn't drop people and people would say, well, he was right not to drop people. But it's the longer term message. 4 or 5 players, 3 or 4 players, whatever, should be dropped from that Man City game. And for me, as I've said before, I would have dropped Maguire because I think as captain, he's been abysmal and he needs to kick up the arse. But we know he will definitely start. I think Maguire will score. So Maguire would have been dropped for me. Both midfielders, McTominay and Fred, would be dropped for Matic and Donny. And I'd probably drop Greenwood for Sancho. So that would be 4 there. I mean, arguably, you could drop Rashford for Martial because I think Rashford was poor as well. But look, there's 4 or 5 players that could easily get dropped, but I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I don't think. I expect Rashford's going to start. We've heard about that. We'll wait and see what the team news is. There's a few quotes I just want to bring you in from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Somebody just put my Man United lineup to face Watford 5 minutes before the real one. I mean, that's just that's a bit naughty because people will start to think it's the real one. But let's have a look at some quotes from Ollie before the game. So on Maguire, the so-called experts have their opinions and that's their job to put their opinion. That's not something we have to worry about too much. As a true example of Man United player, Harry's always there for his team and his country. I find Ollie very, very hard to deal with at the moment. I hate the fact that he said the so-called experts because that comes across as an arsey. And Harry's been there for his team and his country. I mean, what's that all about? Turning up is now make sure United player does it. His family, his club, we're all very happy with him and all back him. He's such a top professional. He's going to prove critics wrong. And for me, no, I've not considered taking the captain's armband away from Maguire. He's been an absolute stalwart for us on and off the pitch since he came in. He's a top professional. He wants to be there for the manager every single time, and he trains really well. I think this week's going away and scoring a couple of goals for his country will help his form and confidence. As a team, we've not performed at the standards we know that we can, and at the levels we need to be at. Harry, as Gareth Southgate has said, he's no one to hide on the treatment table or try to find any excuse to sit out of games. Obviously backing his captain, which is funny about Maguire, and I don't know whether anyone remembers this. I said this probably 6 weeks ago. No, 6 weeks ago. I think I said it about a year ago when Maguire was getting a bit of criticism a year ago. And I said, ultimately, when it comes down to Harry Maguire, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will live and die on that sword of Harry Maguire because he spent £80 million on him. And I think anybody who expects him to be dropped or rested or, criticised or dropped or the captain stripped from him, that's not going to happen with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because it's a bit like, Ollie should change his coaches. I think many people think, know that if he had any chance of staying as a job, he should have changed his coaches. But he's, that's not going to happen. And he's not going to change Harry Maguire either. This is a rock that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to have to die on in relation to Harry Maguire because he's not going to drop him. He's not going to rest him. He's not going to take the captaincy off of him. He's going to stick by him. So there we go. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. What's your prediction for today? I absolutely 100% expect Manchester United to win. I'm so confident that we're going to win that I'm almost dreading what we're going to see tonight. I think United players and the United admin have got their tweets ready already. You know, they're going to absolutely go to town when we beat Watford. And I'm going to find that quite repulsive. Not the win. God, no. The win for me is absolutely essential. I want us to win. But the reactions we're going to see tonight from players and club because we've beaten Watford is going to be all their Christmases come at once. But obviously, for some of us, beating Watford is an expectation, and it's what we do, you know, over the next few weeks and months. I mean, Ollie himself said, look, we've got 4 months working together with each other all the time now. I mean, and he fully expects that himself. You should do driving with Goldbridge and Ollie and give him some Goldbridge advice, says Adam. He wouldn't get in the car. Hills, not rocks, so what one dies on, says Mark, says Gertchen. I say rocks. You can say hills. It's up to you. But I'm going to stick with what I said, because that's just what I do. The lineup is going to be out in about 2 minutes' time. I mean, some people feel that Watford could win this game. I don't want to be totally disrespectful to Watford because they, you know, anything can happen, and I agree with that. But I also just do not see how Manchester United don't win this game. They've got to win it, and it's 3-0 to Chelsea there. Pulisic has scored for them. Very, very comprehensive from Chelsea. Obviously, we're going to be playing them next week, but 3-0 to Chelsea. Team news is about to come out for Manchester United. But yeah, I don't know why. I just expect Manchester United to win today. Yeah. So I'm just watching this goal back from Chelsea. Starts again. I mean, we're going to see this at Stamford Bridge next week. It's a lovely slide rule pass. Ziyech cuts it back. Pulisic slips it through. Lovely goal. Ziyech with the assist. Do you think Donny will start? And can you call Stephen Mahura Pratt, please? Okay, so the team news is going to be out now. So let's have a look what this team news is. It is 2:00. Just waiting for it to come in. I'm checking out the chat as well. It should be out. It should be out. Let's have a look. Ronaldo, Viva. Okay. No start for Donny. Matic and McTominay. Sancho starts. Ronaldo, Rashford, Bruno, Sancho. No start for Donny. Okay. Donny on the bench again. Tweet out. So he's basically made 2 changes to the team that got beaten. So De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Luke Shaw, Matic and McTominay, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo. So no Donny van der Beek starting. I mean, interestingly, Lingard is on the bench. So the bench is Telles, Bailly, Delot, Fred, Lingard, Mata, Van der Beek, Martial. No Greenwood, who I think might have been ill this week. No Cavani and Varane, obviously they're injured. So Lingard does make the bench. Martial makes the bench. Donny's obviously on the bench. Fred's on the bench. But Matic comes in and plays with McTominay, which I don't really remember seeing Matic and McTominay playing together that often before. So look, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I mean, I fully expected Donny to start. If he can't, but we've been, you know, I'm not surprised. I'm genuinely not surprised. The club is such a spin fest. Like, they were leaking to journalists yesterday that Donny's got a chance to start. They play on your emotions. If you don't understand how this club works now, there's no helping you. They play on your emotions to make you get feeling positive about a game. And then it doesn't happen. It's all emotional spin all the time. Why was there leaks about Donny starting the game and then he doesn't start the game? He goes with Matic and McTominay, who are ultra defensive. And also, if you're going to play Matic, play Donny. Like, McTominay and Matic. I mean, the thing is, Matic won't play against Villarreal either. It's just, I don't know. I feel for people who expected him to start, but I mean, are we surprised at this point? He just doesn't. Ollie just doesn't give a shit about what the fans think. He really doesn't. He does what he thinks, and in a funny way, I sort of respect that, because he's still doing the things that he did. Having said that, can we just say straight away that we should still beat Watford? The team that we've got should still beat Watford, because it's Watford. So we should still beat. But to confirm the team: De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw. So he's made no changes to his back five. No changes to his back five at all, even though they got hammered by Man City. He's only made one change to the back six, which is Matic out and Fred in. He's made two changes from the Man City game. Two changes. I mean, I don't think it's enough, but look, it may well still be enough to beat Watford at the end of the day. But let's have a look at the Watford side, actually, just very, very quickly. They've got Foster in goal, the cycling goalkeeper. Tom Cleverley's playing as well. So they've got Foster, they've got King, they've got Dennis and Sarr playing. Watch out for those two wide players, wide left, wide right, very, very quick. Tom Cleverley's playing, Cathcart and Kulo, Messina, Luza, Firmino. So, and Sissoko, who's their captain. So I think they'll be competitive, Watford, but I still think United will get the win today, even with the team that he's picked. Is that the final nail on Donny's exit, says Wayne Rooney. And Goldbridge, you could talk underwater. Goldfish, says Vito. And this McTominay obsession is becoming a bit weird. Like, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Ollie's having an affair with McTominay, says Sean Turner. I don't think it's an affair or anything like that. I mean, look, McTominay might score today, and if he does, it'll be like, oh, he's the best midfielder in the world. You've got to be very careful being critical of United players before the game. Harry Maguire is, I think he'll score today. But yeah, I mean, how Donny van der Beek doesn't start games, I don't know. I don't know how it goes, but can you not attend United press conferences? You have 1.2 million followers, get a press badge if necessary. You might have some interesting questions we want to hear, says the GJ. Not allowed, mate. They won't let us in. I always try to stay somewhat respectful, but the constant ineptness of the club from top to bottom makes me livid, says Sean Miller. And he rested Fred, so we will get McFred against Villarreal, says Chiri Bar. Exactly. Well, what is the point in McTominay? I just think it's ridiculous that he's not starting today, really. But it's what I would say as well is that it's a defensive. McTominay, number 8, and man of the match for Watford last time, says Robert McCormack. That was when they're in the Championship, though, mate. And Donny played very well in that game as well. In fact, I gave Donny man of the match. That was in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. McTominay did play very well, and so did Donny. You're right, but so why is Donny not playing with McTominay then? Hi, Mark. Hope you had a great day. Have a bad feeling for today's game, but hopefully we get the win. What's your prediction for the game, Mark? Cheers, says Davin. United to win 3-1 I'm going to stick with that. And he rested Fred, so we'll get McFred again. Okay. What I would say about the lineup is, I saw some. I don't know where this came from. I don't know whether anybody else saw it. There was a article where they had a picture of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Darth Vader, because he'd made a comment. I think it was in the press conference, or maybe it was in an interview, where he'd said, we might have to go to the dark side and play more defensive to get results. And I was like, oh my God, he talks like he actually plays attacking football on normal occasions. So yeah, apparently Mason Greenwood's got COVID, which obviously opens up the door for him to pick Sancho, which I think he would have done anyway. Hey, Mark, can anyone really tell me what McTominay brings to the starting lineup? He hits from the ball and can't pass. Only thing he has is height, says Akil. Well, the interesting thing with McTominay is that he might play a little bit more. I do have to try and be fair, and I have said before that when it comes to Scott McTominay, I do believe that as a player, he's not a holding midfielder. He's more of a box-to-box player. And today, we might see that with Matic playing more defensively. But it's interesting when you're going to be playing against the team with a low block that you pick McTominay and Matic. Like, I really think Donny would have been perfect. Can you call Duff and Crosby huge fans? Prats, says Owen. Okay, Duff and Crosby. Cannon have done that one as well. Love how he chats Donny up like telling a puppy he's going for a walk, just then to chain him up and walk back inside. So Stephen, I mean, yeah, it's shocking that he spoke about Donny and then doesn't use him. Chelsea are 4-0 up. What a goal. Oh, no, he's offside. Chilwell was offside as he cut it back to Pulisic, who would have had 2 goals. But, I mean, look at, just very, very quickly, let me just say, 10 minutes to go in this game between Leicester and Chelsea. They're 3-0 up. They're going to comfortably win. They've brought people like Ziyech and Pulisic off the bench who've just been, vibrant. They've also got Werner. They've got Lukaku to come back. They've got Kovacic. They've got so much depth of quality. And, they're looking very, very good. Thanks for this contribution there, Neb. And also another super chat from Scott, who says, I know how Ollie says so-called expert. Roy Keane was his captain when he played. If he doesn't know what a United player is, then I don't know who does, says Scott. That's a great point, actually. So-called experts, but was his captain. Contradiction or what? Let's have a look. Donny van der Beek, Romano has just said that. We knew that. Mason Greenwood has tested positive for coronavirus, confirmed Solskjaer. So that's why he's not playing. So he'll be out for about 10 days, I would have thought. Just have a look at some of the comments here. McTominay and Matic, can't see that working to Salah Ahmed. Well, it's a safe game to try and get it to work against a team like Watford. Can you explain what a low block is, says Aziz? Well, a low block in a very simple way is a team that sits and parks the bus and tries. It's basically what United do against Man City and Liverpool. You play with a back 8 and you hit them on the break. That's what a low block is. It's part of the bus. Hi, Mark. Can you say rest in peace to Wendy Weir and Brother Cusack, 2 teachers at my school who loved your streams, says Calvin Edwards. Thank you very much for that. Calvin, that just sounds like a really weird chat. I mean, I'm getting a bit... We've had people just trying to get me to say stuff, you see. So I'm just, this is the United stand. I'm not going to do that sort of thing anymore because it just sounds like an odd chat, that to me. Pratik, thank you very much for the super chat. Sam, same back 4 who lost to Watford 2-0. I see us losing the game even though I want us to win, says AJ Blooms. Do you think Donny secretly wants us to lose today so he gets a fresh start with a new manager? I'm at the point where I don't care if we lose, says Sean Turner. It's funny, I was speaking to some of my mates last night. We're in a group chat about United, and I just put it in there about 11:30, and I said, so who wants us to lose tomorrow? And a couple of them did say, I sort of, in a perverse way, I do. And I was like, yeah, I think there's a few people like that. Roy Keane literally put United in the final where Ollie made himself a legend. Ollie comes across like a spoilt child who can't accept criticism at times, says Joshua Bowater. And all this talk about Ollie wanting Scott as his Roy Keane and engine of the team, yet he plays him with Matic as 2 CDMs, basically tactics gone again, says NMCC. 4-0 to Chelsea. Reece James just has scored a cracking goal. Time for some positive news. Channel re-sub to the legend, Mark Goldbridge, United stand hype, says Gaz Hardy. Thank you very much. 30 million Ahmad, even on the bench, even with one of our right wingers out with COVID. Too much deadwood at this club, says Ramsey. I mean, why is Mata on the bench and not Ahmad? Good point. Why would he play McTominay as a box-to-box if Donny is maybe the best player to play that role? I just can't understand Ollie's thinking. I honestly think he draws names out of a hat, says Akil. Well, he doesn't draw names out of a hat, does he? He consistently picks McTominay, so he doesn't draw him out of the hat. Hey, Mark, not picking Donny exposes Ollie as a below average coach. Very defensive today, but still going for United win 2-1 to United, says Mohammed. And hey, Mark, thanks for what you do. Great to see Sancho starting. Hopefully really gets his United career going today. I think Eric's probably found the positive from that lineup is that Jadon Sancho starts. And look, you know, winning today for United will probably put us up to 5th because I don't think Arsenal will get anything at Liverpool. Tuchel uses his squad. Ollie plays favourites despite playing bad, says Hezron. And that wasn't given as a goal for Reece James then. I don't know why that wasn't given. Was some sort of offside again? Just wanted to give you some love. Keep up the good work. 4-0 United. Ronaldo hat-trick, says JT. Thank you very much. And another shot wide. It was offside. There was an offside in that goal. I thought so. So Chelsea have actually had 2 goals ruled out for offside. I don't think it'll be a graveyard shift for Ronaldo today because I think Watford will play quite deep. But they will hit us on the break without a shadow of a doubt. Let's not forget this Watford team have been training over this international break. Shaw and Rashford need to be on form to keep up with Sarr, says Sam. And he must really hate Bay. What are your thoughts, says Druv? I think tactically, here's a point for you. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're nearly at 210,000, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. But here's an interesting point for you. So tactically, Manchester United are playing with Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire against a quick front 3. So we can't play a high line. You've then got McTominay and Matic, who aren't particularly mobile. And yet we're playing a Watford side that will like to counter-attack. I'm not sure what we're trying to do in this game, because are we trying to invite Watford to attack us and hit them on the break? Or are we actually going to go on the front foot and play a high line with a team that's very exposed pace-wise? So it's going to be interesting to see how it works. This will be Scotty's 100th Premier League appearance. How is anyone surprised he's playing, says Johnsey. And I was like you, supporting the team to win, but I don't want this team to win now. It's Matic. What else is left to see? I'm ducking done, says Wrath. And Mark, honestly, why do we play defensive players and defensive tactics when we box? Know that we will be giving up goals to any team. Might as well go completely offensive, which is when we play our best, says Akil. I'm waiting for Gary Glazers to spin McMatic as Ollie's masterclass, like he spun 5-3-2 against the horrendous Spurs side as a masterclass. You know what worries me, Barath, is that I do think we'll beat Watford today. But you know what worries me? Watching Chelsea like I have done today. This is the first time I've watched Chelsea in about a month. We're going to Stamford Bridge next Sunday, and I just don't see how we're going to get anything, even a draw in that game. It doesn't mean we can't draw. I just don't know how we're going to get anything because that midfield is just abysmal. And yeah, it can beat Watford, but it's not a very good midfield. Fred's obviously been rested for Villarreal. Yeah, it'll be McTominay and Fred against Villarreal because there's no way. Well, he might do Fred and Donny, I suppose, but Clive says spot on, back 6, and we're playing Watford. I don't recognise United, so yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I'm actually going to drop a tweet out as well. It'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I'll mention that. So links in the hashtag Goldbridge on Twitter. If you've got any questions, we'll pop them on the screen. As you can see, we do get some of your comments up on the screen on the watch along. So if you want to get anything read out within reason, hashtag Ask Goldbridge, put it up on Twitter and we'll take some of those and put them onto the screen for you. Thanks for all the super chats that are coming in. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Mark, you say you're not sure what United are trying to do with this lineup. Don't feel bad. Neither does Ollie, says Patrick C. Thank you, Patrick. And I have thought long and hard about this, but here is a question for you. I hate Donny not getting a chance, but do we actually have a player he could partner, says Gaz Hardy? Well, no, you know what, Gaz? I think, you know, the interesting reaction to that would be that, of course, there's a player to partner Donny van der Beek. I don't think Ollie thinks he's got a player to partner him. this is why he doesn't play Pogba in the midfield as well. He hasn't got that holding midfielder to play in the midfield. But I would play Donny and Matic. Like, it works. I mean, McTominay is basically there, I think, for height. So, yeah. Do you think Man United will win? I do think we're going to win today, Mohammed. I mean, don't take my opinion as one to write home about. I've been wrong many times before. Recently, I predicted we'd beat Villa, we didn't. I predicted we'd beat Everton, we didn't. I predicted we beat Leicester and we didn't. So I have been wrong, but I do think we'll win today. I mean, at the end of the day, people will say, well, Goldbridge jinx and all that. That's absolutely fine. Having said that, we are playing Watford, who I believe will get relegated. So, Mark, is it the final nail in the coffin for Donny's career at United? Says Advath Warrior, hashtag Goldbridge below there. Yes and no. I mean, look, anyone who watches the channel knows what I said about this. For me, I think that I said at the start of the season, even before we'd kicked a ball, I felt that Donny van de Beek was finished at Manchester United. I didn't think he would get any game time this season, and he didn't. A lot of people thought he would get game time. His game time, I think Dan James has played more minutes in the Premier League than Donny van de Beek. I'm pretty sure that that's an accurate statement. So, I think his career was over last season, let alone now. Could he get some game time? Yeah, he might get some game time, but he is, honest answer, Advath, yes, he's finished under this manager. He needs to leave under this manager because he will not get game time. Like, Ollie, the reason for it is, right, Ollie should have got the sack. He shouldn't be here anymore. And even though he shouldn't be here anymore, he still won't give Donny a chance. So, of course, under Ollie, Donny is finished. If the idea was to play defensive football, then why do we keep buying attacking players? It's like you want to remedy stomach upset through laxatives, says Out of the Box. I like that one. Thanks. The disrespect to Donny is unreal. Watch how Scott scores now, just a Scott thing to do. Yeah, I think McTominay will probably have a good game today, because it's a shit team that we're playing, and it masks the fact that he's been shit against good teams. Roy Keane said that he would grab Ollie and ask him why he's playing Fred. If you had one question to ask Ollie, what would you ask? Says Pratic. You know what, Pratic? I'd probably say, do you want to go and get a drink and talk about 99, Ollie? There's nothing I can ask Ollie now. Maybe a year ago, I would have asked him something. I'm not interested in his answers. I think we've seen all his answers. He's a crap coach. Like, I'm not curious about Ollie's decision-making anymore because it's just consistently terrible. Like, I'm not even bothered about what Ollie thinks or what he does now. To me, he shouldn't even be here. And I want us to win today, and I think we will win today, but I'll still stay the same. I've had it with him. He's just not a very good coach. Apparently, the only time the club proves us wrong is when we predict they win, but they don't, says Rack. Mark, do you think United, this is a hashtag Ask Goldbridge on the screen there, do you think United will go for Brendan Rodgers after what happened today with Leicester? Says United Lad. But I mean, look, are we going to be that club? Are we going to be those fans? Like, Leicester lose 3-0 to Chelsea. Chelsea are top of the league. Like, why does that make Brendan Rodgers a bad man? I mean, look, as I said on That's Football, like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Brendan Rodgers is like a plate of steak and chips, Brendan Rodgers, and a plate of shit, Ollie. Like, they're worlds apart in coaching. So why do we have to be flip-flops and go, oh, Chelsea battered Leicester, so we shouldn't go for Brendan Rodgers? Have you seen who's coaching us now? Like, literally, any manager in the Premier League would be an improvement on Ollie, and I would take most of them now. Ollie still feels that he would get exposed if Donny starts the game, plays brilliant, hence gives 10 minutes not to make substantial impacts, as Pratic. Problem with Ollie is instead of playing to Man United's strengths, he uses tactics to opponent's strengths. What are they going to do? Standards way down, says Brian Spence. I think it's a great point by Brian, and I've mentioned this before. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a reactive coach, and he will have taken into account the way that the opposition are playing today. Apparently, the only time the club proves is... Okay, we've done that one. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're close to 210,000. We've got a fan forum for you today after the match. We've also got player ratings, which we can do on My Match Reaction. So loads to get involved in. Lots of football as well. Tuesday night, it's a 6 o'clock kickoff against Villarreal. And then obviously next Sunday, we're playing Chelsea, who've just won 3-0. So before kickoff, Manchester United are 12 points off the top. And I think that will, it's a minor issue for Ollie in a bigger sense, but I think he would have liked Chelsea to have not won today, because then it's like, if you win, we're only 6 points off the top. Even if we win, we're 9 points off. And what Ollie will be thinking there is, what Ollie will be really worried about is that even if we beat even if we beat Watford and we're 9 points off, our next league game is Chelsea. If they beat us, we're 12 points off the top, and it's not even December. So keep that one in your back of your mind for next week. Of course, if we lose to Watford, well, no, we're not losing to Watford. Imagine letting a player go for free, re-signing him for 90 million, only to let him leave for free again. Must be the worst piece of business in the history of football. And it's all down to Ed Woodward and the Glazers. Yeah. Triple A, I don't know how you pronounce that one. But thanks for the super chats that are coming in. 23,000 people watching. 3 o'clock kickoffs today. Obviously, Manchester United against Watford. There are a few others. Just having a quick look if it impacts on Manchester United. Chelsea have just beaten Leicester 3-0. Villa against Brighton, Steven Gerrard's first game. Burnley against Palace, and Newcastle against Brentford, and Norwich against Southampton. No, none of those teams can go above us. Actually, Palace could go above us if they won. Wolves. Oh, Wolves are playing West Ham at 3 o'clock. Didn't know that. Did not know that. Wolves West Ham is a very interesting 3 o'clock. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. Another hashtag on the screen. What has Donny got to do, says Matt Scott. What has Donny got to do in order to start? Is a change of manager the only way? Is a change of manager too late to convince Donny to stay? My opinion, Ollie has ruined Donny's United career. Hope he moves on and proves to be a world beater. Mate, he has not ruined Donny van der Beek's Manchester United career. He has ruined Donny van der Beek's career. He was an international. He's not now. You know, he's ruined his career. He's not ruined his Man United career. His Man United career never got going. He's just ruined his career. Mark, I feel so dejected. I do not recognise this club I love, says Sebastian. Absolutely shocking having Bruno in the team. Clearly, Watford have serious attacking threats if Matic and McTominay are in. Where the fuck is Fred, says Sean Miller. Well, he's on the bench. Draw 2, Tinkerman, cancel each other out, says Alan Burns. I don't think it'll be a draw. Watford haven't not conceded a goal this season, so I don't think it'll be a draw. How do you think we're going to play today, says Advath? It's very hard to predict. I mean, we've got the starting lineup there. I think it looks like it is on that screen. I think, you know, there's no pace in Lindelof and Maguire. There's no pace in Matic and McTominay. And there is pace in Watford's team. So I think we're going to have to play quite deep. And I think Matic and McTominay are going to have to play, will be told to play very close to Maguire and Lindelof. So, you know, I think against Leicester, there was a massive gap. I think we're going to play deep. And I think we're going to use Rashford and Sancho and Ronaldo on the break. And I think that's what we're going to try and do. But Watford won't want to fall into that trap. So, you know, effectively, I think we're going to play counter-attacking football. But we will see. No, it's not. We don't watch football. Oh, sorry, that one's gone. All the subs are the players that all moaned about playing, says Simon Wright on the screen there. And love what you're doing, Mark. Do you think McTominay has nudes of Ollie because I swear he was ill, says Daniel. Yeah, obviously. Look, people don't like it when I get information, right? The club don't like it. The media don't like it. And some of our own fans don't like it. But we've always had information. Pretty much from year 2, people have told us stuff. I knew Sanchez was coming to United a week before the media knew, because I knew somebody was very close to that. Sometimes you get very good information. Sometimes you get crap information. But I told you a month ago, I was told this by somebody very, very close. They said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sees Scott McTominay as his Roy Keane. And I got laughed at. And it is laughable. It's a laughable statement. But I think he started basically every game and starts every game. He does see McTominay as his Roy Keane. It never surprises me that McTominay starts. I never moan about it because I expect it. So you can take that one to the bank. He should be asked about it in the press conference. Do you see Scott McTominay as your Roy Keane? Because I'd love to know how he'd answer that because I know he does. So how would he answer it? Absolutely shocking having... got another hashtag. I am now watching underwater because I don't want my friends to see me cry, says Okay. Will we ever see Ahmad, Alango, Hannibal under Ollie? Why the feck are we still seeing Mata and Jesse on the bench? Says Denny. Well, that's another thing we all predicted as a community before the start of the season. How does Hannibal or Alanga or any other youth player get even on the bench at United when you're being blocked by people like Mata and Lingard who shouldn't even be here? So against Chelsea, we're going to go to a back five. This doesn't make any sense and there's no stability, says Ribal. For me, Donny is the poster boy of everything that irritates me about Ollie being in charge. Still, I can't invest emotionally until he is gone, says Gerard. If Ollie sees McTominay as his Roy Keane, then why isn't he captain, says JT? Because he sees Maguire as his Ramos. I've made that one up. I've not heard that. Don't take that to the bank. But, he loves Harry Maguire as well. Can you name another team in history that has had amazing players on the pitch and on the bench, however, struggled because of the tactics, says Akil. And just a shout out to my fiance, who I know is listening. You make the fact that United are bad a lot easier. That's from Paul DeLuca, and that's for his fiance, Kiana. So there you go. A nice bit of real life when we're all pissed off. Gaz Hardy says, I agree with everyone about Ollie's tactics and his lineup, but is he actually trying to make the best of a bad bunch? The real issue here is there is no team in United. It's individual moments. Yeah, but Gaz, I think you're right and wrong. I think you're right, but the manager has created that situation. He's been here 3 years. He's not been here 3 weeks. I think if you take that team on and after 3 weeks, you're just trying to make the best of a bad situation. He's been here 3 years. He's created that. I was doing the watch-along for Chelsea-Leicester in the first half on That's Football, and somebody said, if Lukaku plays against United and scores, will you be pissed off if he celebrates? And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, shit, he used to play for United. So I'm like, Lukaku celebrating if he scores against United, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I do, because I don't want Chelsea to score, but I don't see Lukaku as a player that needs to be loyal to United and not celebrate against us. Do you? Like, Lukaku was treated badly. Ollie is living in fancy land. I will always love the guy, but he's not a top-level manager, says Sebastian. I think I would subscribe to that. But Lukaku, under Mourinho, quite liked it at Chelsea, United. He liked Mourinho. He liked United. As soon as Ollie came in, he got benched. He didn't get used. He felt he was being, sort of scapegoated, and he wanted to get out. I guarantee Lukaku will celebrate if he scores for Chelsea. So, but it goes back to that point there about Ollie making the best of a bad situation. Ollie made some big calls. Look, getting rid of Fellaini, I'd have given him a statue for that. Getting rid of Lukaku, I agreed with it. But, it does show you that he's been here a long time. Lukaku at United's a long time ago. And Ollie got rid of him, right? So he has been here a long time. That's the point. Rodgers would be Moyes all over again. No way Zidane works under the Glazers after having to deal with Perez for 5 years, another 9 years of mediocrity coming into his road to dawn. But the thing about Brendan Rodgers and the thing about Zinedine Zidane is it's progress. Whether you don't think it's going to be good enough, it's progress because it's not Ollie. I don't know why people are getting into this. Oh, I wouldn't take Rodgers because he lost to Chelsea. We've got Ollie in charge. Hopefully we lose. I don't want to see Ollie at all, says Jay. Ollie and his mystery gang of Scooby-Doos, who's in the gang, they just can't crack this mystery, says Matt Rose. Ollie's favourites, I know who Ollie's favourites are. I've been told this as well, but you know who Ollie's favourites are. Ollie's favourites are Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Marcus Rashford. They're his top 6. They're his favourites. They're his 6 favourites. It's well known. So Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Marcus Rashford. They're the 6. Anyone else, he might change it, but those 6 are his favourites. And look, nothing wrong with that. I like Luke Shaw. I like Harry Maguire. I like Marcus Rashford. I like Bruno Fernandes. I like Ronaldo. But, they are his favourites, like beyond reproach. They're the team. They're the players that he wants to put in the team all the time. A measure of how bad Ollie has been is the fact that when he gets replaced, I will celebrate his departure as opposed to the arrival of a new manager, says Marcus. And Glazers out, says Graham Farrell. I mean, look, I think the sad thing for me is that just the general, not toxicity. I don't think it's that. I don't think Fred. Fred's been dropped today. He does like Fred, but he's not the same as Fred's almost the favourite, but he's not a guaranteed starter. Fred, he will drop Fred. Chang says, I hate the negativity in the club right now. We aren't where we should be. We wouldn't use a handful of players as scapegoats, says Chang. Look, I think I think you make a good point there, and I'll read this hashtag. Remember, get your tweets in, hashtag Ask Goldbridge on Twitter, and we'll get some up on the screen. But what I was going to say is that that's the thing I don't like the most, and I agree with you, is that there is this depression around the club at the moment. Even though I think we're going to beat Watford, even though Ronaldo will be going, Sue, I just don't think it's going to be enough. You know, I think the club will try and make it enough. I think when we win tonight, if we win tonight, they'll be bombarding us with tweets and players and thanks for sticking by us and all this bullshit. But I think United fans are wise to the fact that we're playing Chelsea next week. And if we over-celebrate beating Watford, we could be 12 points off the top of the league when we lose to Chelsea next Sunday, if we lose to Chelsea next Sunday. So there is this depression over the club at the moment that even a win today won't lift. This is a big issue. And I don't think the club realise that. I think the club think if they win a couple of games, everything's fine. But I don't think they realise that so many people, and I'll certainly put myself in this one for a change, hoped Ollie would be the right man and ignored the fact that he wasn't. You know, some people messaged me over the international break and went, you should have been Ollie out months ago. And I said, I think in normal circumstances I would have been, but I got lost in the sentimentality and I wanted desperately for him to do well. So I stuck with him longer. The problem is there's a lot of United fans that stuck with Ollie longer than they should have done. But now that they're not with him, they're not going to come back because we beat Watford. And the club don't realise this. They think that fans have just decided Ollie's not good enough after a couple of games. This has been a real big decision for a lot of people. I mean, some people have been Ollie out for a long time. Some of us, it's only been a few weeks, but we've been considering it for a long time and sort of ignoring it. The club don't realise that this whole movement to get Ollie out of the club is not flippant. People have been holding out hope. And now it's like come home to roost. It's not going to get turned around by a couple of good results. Most likely appointment, Rodgers or Fletcher, says Matt Ross. Oh, I mean, imagine Darren Fletcher as a fucking interim. I mean, sorry to swear at this time, but I don't want... The worst thing that can happen for United is they sack Solskjaer and keep Carrick and McKenna. Like, they've got to... They're part of the problem. They're a huge part of the problem. Could this be a... Anyway, look, what are we doing? We're talking about sacking a manager. We're about to bloody kick off in 25 minutes and win a game of football. I think we're all getting dragged into something here. But, you know, the reason we're getting dragged into it, because people will be saying, why are you talking about sacking the manager? We're just about to play a game. You're absolutely right. But the reason we're talking about all of this is not to be divisive or toxic. We're talking about this because of the Glazers. That's why we're talking about it, because they've created the situation. Could this be a 5-2-1-2 with Sancho at right wing back? Oh, Ainsley, don't do that. Don't do that. I feel a bit for Ollie. He's out of his depth and it's his dream job up to the board to replace him. You're spot on there, Kieran. I think he is hung out to dry by the board. I said that 2 weeks ago. This lineup will lose this game. 15 points off the top after we lose to Chelsea, says Sebastian. I reckon Fred has been rested. He's straight off the bench for Villarreal and Chelsea because he works hard. I agree. Shamari, I do. Ginger says, Ollie isn't playing Donny because he's scared for people to have another reason to question his previous decisions if Donny does well. Yeah, probably right, Ginger. Mark, you're a legend. Love from Dublin. Also, would Greenwood have started over Sancho if he didn't have COVID? No, I think I actually think that COVID thing is unfortunate for Marcus, but I think he would have started today. Yeah, I do think he would have started today. We've got an hashtag Ask Goldbridge here from the Vuto, who says, sorry, mate, if I'm being a bit rude, but I can't consider Ollie as a legend anymore. Of course, he has given us one of our best nights in relation to football and Manchester United, but he has given us more nights of anger, frustration, disgust, helplessness, and sadness. I mean, look, I can understand why you'd say that. What I would say is that, you know, he's still a legend because... and I'm not stuttering on this. He's still a legend because as a player, his career cannot be altered. As a man, this is the mistake we all made. We should have had Ollie the player in a draw, legend, and then Ollie as a manager, show us what you got. The problem is we took Ollie the player out the draw and we moulded him with Ollie the manager and we got lost in sentimentality. And now some people are, you know, damaging his legacy because they've moulded him in together. And the club did that. The club played off that sentimentality and took Ollie the legend out of the draw and merged him into the manager. And now people are, you know, thinking bad on Ollie. The reality is you've got to take Ollie the player, put him back in the draw, mark legend, and close it. And just remember what he did as a player. And then you've got to look at the manager and go, yeah, you're shit. And that's basically what you need to do. But the club played on that sentimentality for 3 years. And they took him out the draw and went, look, Ollie the player. But realistically, you should always judge a manager as a manager, not as a player. I mean, look at Roy Keane as a manager. He's not very good. As a player, he's one of the best players the Premier League's had. Thankfully, he's never been anywhere near United, so he can't damage that. But, there we go. In the presser, Ollie said rebuild. He is right. Rebuild from the owners all the way down to the players, says Brian Spence. Don't be so confident. There is a very good chance we won't win, says James. Zayn Miasi's laughing. I don't know why. Ronaldo doesn't look happy at United, says Asa. And really problem here is morale. You can't coach team if this team has hit rock bottom. We want all last season with individual moments. I think Ronaldo coming just knocked everyone even more, says Gaz Hardy. I've got another hashtag. Do you think Ollie will be gone if we lose today? I don't see how it could happen anyway, United lad. I really don't. I don't see how he could be gone if we lose today because it's only 2 days till Villarreal. He should be gone already. So we get embarrassed by City and his idea of bouncing back is 2 changes only. The back four and McTominay were awful, yet they still get picked. Wow, says Saleh Ahmad. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We've got nearly 30,000 watching and we're getting close to 210,000. I think the most important thing in this game is the first goal. I think the first goal is so important. And if the first goal goes to Watford, then I think what somebody was saying there is very true. That the confidence in the team, we've seen it drop. And that might be a problem. I'm just taking some notes there for the match reaction about, whether we play a back six. I think tactically it's going to be very interesting today as well. So I've got a few notes down there. It is a 3 p.m. kickoff. So radio, ear. But a lot of you will be able to watch it. So keep us up to date with your tactics and everything like that. We'll certainly keep you up to date with what's going on. UK 3 p.m. kickoffs, get in the bin. Do you think Manchester United will be ever a great team again in terms of titles and success? You have to believe. I mean, look, United, one thing United are is they're always going to have a massive fan base, which therefore they're always going to have good revenue and interest. Therefore, with the right, I think, until United get the right ownership, there's going to be a problem. There will be a problem. What are the threats for Watford? I'll mention them from the preview. Sarr, Dennis, Josh King. You've got a bit of pace there. Sissoko's quite energetic in that midfield if he has a good game as well. Do you think that Ollie will last much longer, says Barry? I hope not, because I just think that we're 20 minutes from kickoff in a game that I think we're going to win, and we're all feeling fed up, or the vast majority of us are. And can I just say as well, I don't want any criticism of our amazing away support when they sing Ollie's at the wheel, because you've got to understand that might feel really weird, but this is a way of life. Like, these people will have been up at 5, 6 o'clock this morning to get on buses and, join the camaraderie of what they do home and away. And they did it for Moyes, and they did it for Van Gaal, they did it for Sir Alex, and they did it for Mourinho, and they will do it. It's part of the passage of being one of those sort of fans, is that this is what you get behind the manager. But I've spoken to some of these people and they fully agree that the manager should get sacked. But it's just not in the DNA of that support to start singing sack a manager or boo them. So if you hear that, don't start criticizing. I just don't think we should be being toxic towards each other. We all want the same thing. And, if the club want to listen to a few thousand people singing Ollie's at the wheel and think that reflects real fans, the real fan base, I mean, like the everybody, then the club are hypocrites, because the club wanted to turn their back on those fans and take it into a franchise worldwide. So the club will use anything and manipulate it. But the reality is, a fan base, we should try and be united. And, I remember under David Moyes, and away fans and home fans were singing, "We'll stand by David Moyes." So, it's just what they do. Who would be more threatening in set pieces, says Ali Jabbar? I think set pieces will be important for United today. You've got Matic, who's tall. You've got Maguire. You've got Ronaldo. You've got McTominay. So we shouldn't be conceding goals from set pieces. Nice to see Rashi and Sancho down the wings. Disappointed Donny's not in. Ollie continues to play McTominay, says Marcel. We need Marcus Rashford to deliver today. I think he's been a bit off. Obviously, he's missed a lot of football, but he's been a little bit off, and we need him back. I mean, Rashford didn't go on England duty because he had a bit of an injury, didn't he? McTominay's had an illness. So, yeah, look, hopefully everybody is fully fit and raring to go. Shaw is weak at left, but Telles could get a chance, says Forever United. Look, if you want to drop Shaw, you've got to drop Maguire. You know, you've got to play Bailly and Telles. You can't drop one and not the other. We should free Donny, Mata, Jesse, Telles. Michael, I can't even read it all. There's too many people who need freeing. You're absolutely spot on there. Yeah, Chelsea 12 points clear of United. Got a hashtag on the screen. As a strength and conditioning coach, says Alfie, I do not understand what we have done with players like Rashi, clearly rushing him back again, leading to more injuries. I fear for his career. Yeah, but you know what? I think you're spot on, Alfie, and this is a conversation probably for a different show, but we've been talking about this for a few years as well. You know, Ollie even himself has spoken about Harry Maguire putting himself on the line for his team and his country. What that means is that they basically come back and play when they're injured. And we don't need to do that at United. We didn't need to play Harry Maguire after one training session against Leicester, and it cost us the game. Eric Bailly was fully fit. He'd just been on international duty. Marcus Rashford doesn't need to be rushed back. You've got people like Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard, who can all play his position. So Ollie champions these favourites and rushes them back, but they don't need to be rushed back. He's got an amazingly deep squad in those positions. And they do get rushed back. I agree. Teams that win Premier League usually drop off the next season. We ran so much last year. I'm not surprised we've dropped off. We're not a Premier League winning squad, says Manchild. Yeah, we didn't win the Premier League last year either. So I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't win the Premier League last year, Manchild. I don't want to upset you. I feel guilty, but we didn't win it. Ollie's such a coward for not starting Donny. He's so afraid to start him because it would confirm that the fans are right, says Nate. I mean, look, I hadn't thought of it like that, Nate. A few people have mentioned that. I hadn't thought of it like that. I thought that, you know, it's... I just thought, well, he's not picking him because he doesn't pick him. But ultimately, I suppose that is an angle. Why would he pick a player that if he plays well, everyone will just go, Ollie's clueless? It could undermine him even more. Although I don't think he can be undermining him. I mean, basically what Ollie wants today, Ollie's dream scoreline today, without being unrealistic, is probably 3-0 with a man of the match from McTominay and a goal from Maguire and a man of the match from him. That's the sort of thing that Ollie would be driven by, because it would be, I told you so. He's driven by I told you so. Some people are, and he's definitely one of those people. What a dream it would be to see Ronaldo score a header from Rashford and Sancho cross, says Druv. I'm excited to see what Sancho can do in this game. More spin than a carnival ride, says Nathan Kearney. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Let's see if we can hit 210,000 before kickoff, which is 12 minutes away. We are currently 400 subscribers away from 210,000. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Remember, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We're live every morning at around 10 o'clock. We've got match reaction. We've got player ratings where you can mark every player out of 10 and 6 being the average and vote. And then we'll aggregate that up on the match reaction. So we get the most accurate United fan player ratings in the world. We've got fan reactions as well. Adam's at the game. Obviously, you saw his vlog earlier on. We've got a fan forum. So loads and loads to get involved in. And I look forward to seeing what you've got. I think that... check out United. I'm going to retweet it for you. United Stand has put a Twitter out. Solskjaer is wearing a badge describing his playing style. And if you read the badge, it says, play safe, which is probably what he's doing. And I think he sort of admitted he was doing that. I'm pretty sure he admitted he was doing that in this sort of dark side quote that he came out with. But I fancy United today. I do fancy United today. Not in a over-exuberant, excited way, but I do fancy United to win today. Because I think that they have to win today. It's like that. It reminds me of the Spurs game a bit, although I think Watford are worse than Spurs, although Spurs were pretty shite. But yeah, this is a game that, as bad as we are, there are limits to how bad we are. When we play a really good team with a good coach, we struggle, but Watford are not a really good team, even though the coach isn't that bad. Of course, Jadon Sancho all started for them there. There's a quote here from Solskjaer. Mason Greenwood has got COVID, unfortunately. Solskjaer's been reminded that Sancho's career started at Watford. Apparently, still not played, so I've still got more goals than him. I've been on him all week to try and catch me. He's looking forward to it, of course. It's a big day for him. I don't even know what that means. Not played at Vicarage Road, maybe. Maybe Ollie's got more goals than him. I don't know. Don't know what that means, really. I don't know. I mean, look, I just saw somebody there saying that Brendan Rodgers is not seen as a genuine contender for the Man United job. Who is then? Who is? Because this is why Solskjaer's here. This inability to identify another manager in the world. It's not like on your street. I can't find a manager better than Ollie on the street. We can't find a manager to take over from Ollie in the world. You can just, I just don't understand. I don't understand it. I really don't, because it's not like you can't go to PSG now and say Mbappe come to us. It's illegal. You can't do it, but you can go to Ajax and take Ten Hag. You can actually do it. He's got to want to do it, and you've got to pay Ajax for it. But you can take a manager from anywhere. You can if they want to come. So I don't get it. Donny is obviously useless if he ain't being picked, says Connor. You're useless for coming out with a stupid comment like that. And Maclama says, players usually learn from other more experienced players in the team. So how come Fred and McTominay can't learn from Matic how to move the ball forward? I've got an even better one than that. If Michael Carrick is a coach, and Michael Carrick was one of the best holding midfielders in the Premier League history, and he's a coach, but he can't train people to be a holding midfielder, what hope has he got of teaching people to do anything else? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. You've not missed the game, Robin. We're 10 minutes away from kickoff. Keep an eye on West Ham against Wolves, by the way, because that might be an interesting opportunity. Tough game for West Ham today. We don't really want them winning. If you want to I want top four. I don't want Ollie here, and I think he should get sacked for being in a top four race, but I still want United to get top four, and that's why winning today is very important. These 3 points could be points for our next manager, or they could be 3 points towards getting into the top four, which we have to do. We can't be back in the Europa League. Mark, what if we beat Warriors, but it's like Villarreal, Atalanta, depending on last-minute heroics? Watford, I think you meant. Oz, I don't know how you go from what maybe it's predictive, but Oz, I don't know how this game's going to pan out. I think it's very dangerous to predict a game. Remember, these players, we've not mentioned this enough. I mentioned it on the preview. Remember, this is a point-to-prove game. Remember, this is a footballing pride game. This is a game where you've got to come back and show something. So, I think the international break may have made people forget how that our last Premier League game was walking out with white flags. If I was Watford, I'd be on to United. Physicality in the first 10 minutes. If I was Ranieri, I'd be like, get at them. Really get at them. Don't leave space at the back, but be physical and try and intimidate them and get the crowd up. That's what I would do if I was Watford. But let's not forget this is a bounce back game for United, and I expect them to do that. Next United, okay, Ronaldo and Varane playing in the Carrick was a good player, not the greatest, but he needs to be fired as a coach, says G-Man. I think in relation to Michael Carrick, the most important thing with Michael Carrick is that if Ollie gets the sack, he has to get the sack as well, because that's just the way it should work. Like the coaching, Ollie has said, I don't do the coaching. So if he doesn't do the coaching, he's got to play. I'm shocked United hoping West Ham lose I'm shocked United hoping West Ham lose as an Essex-based human. United and West Ham in the same sentence is mortifying, says Clay. Hey, mate, it's just the way. It's the way of the world, isn't it? At the moment, it's the way we've sort of become. I mean, West Ham are having a good season, though. Let's not be disrespectful to West Ham. They're having a good season. What is your score predictions? I'm going to go 3-1 to United. I think I'm even going to give you some score. Even going to give you some scorers predictions. I'm going to say that I think that Maguire's going to score. I fancy Ronaldo to score at least one today. And I'm going to go United to win 3-1 for a change. I'm going to go a little bit positive, and I'm going to go 3-1. Glazers treat this club like a business, but never communicate with the fans, the customer, yet communication is paramount for a business. Mind blown, says Aleva Baraka. They communicate with shareholders because they're the people that are going to generate them the hard cash at the end of the day. Thoughts on Carrick or Van der Sar as next gaffer? Well, Connor, I don't think you could pick two more inappropriate people. Van der Sar has got no managerial experience. He's a CEO, isn't he? And Michael Carrick has got no coaching experience. He's not very good. So Chelsea are too good. Says Korea. Chelsea were very good today from what I saw. Very, very good. Very impressed with Chelsea. They're still doing it without Lukaku as well. So I will give you that. I think that Chelsea have been very, very good. But I think that also Burnley went and got a draw there. So we can get something against Chelsea is what I'm trying to say. Chelsea will obliterate us now. See, I disagree with that. I mean, I don't think we'll get anything against Chelsea, but you know, it's only words. Oh, how do you do? There we go. That's what I want. I don't know why that does that. Sir Alex Ferguson apparently played Watford 9 times and won them all, whereas Ollie has actually lost already one game to them. Was that the one where I think David De Gea made that mistake, didn't he, in that game? Chelsea, did Liverpool and City not destroy us? What's different about Chelsea, says Ryan? Yeah, mate, I agree. I don't think we're going to go to Stamford. We've always, in my lifetime, certainly over the last 20 years, the Stamford Bridge has always been a very difficult place for Manchester United to go. And I think it will be a difficult place for Manchester United to go. I don't expect us to win, but sometimes football is, sometimes football can surprise you. So, hashtag coming up on the screen. Nicholas says, United will play Chelsea, white flag again, but only lose 2-0 and Ollie will see us progress after Leicester's result, says Nicholas. And if Ollie gets another $500 million, would there be much difference sitting around the dressing room watching more bad results? Okay. And a hashtag Goldbridge. What does a new manager do with this team? Obviously a bounce back, but how does a different manager deal with so many attackers? Mate, there are massive problems. United are playing in blue today. I've just got to sort out my adapter again. So I'll answer that question whilst walking and talking. There are massive issues with Manchester United, whether you bring a new manager in or not. I would agree with that. A new manager isn't going to change a massive amount in relation to that. We do still need a holding midfielder. We know about that. And I think that issue still remains, of course. But what I would expect to see is a change in relation to the way that we play football. I think that's the thing that I would expect to see a change from. Vibaf saying that every time Goldbridge says we're going to win a game, we lose. Yeah, that does. Well done. You're right. You're right. That does happen a lot, but I'm not going to say that we're going to lose to Watford. So, no, I can't say. I refuse to entertain the draw. I've said nothing about a draw as well. Would you take Laurent Blanc as manager at United? I'd take him as an interim. That's the sort of manager I would bring in as an interim. Yeah, definitely. Will you ever do a meetup in Ireland again? I had tickets for the Arlington Hotel meetup in Dublin right before it got cancelled. This is Connor. You need to get yourselves out of bloody lockdown first, Connor. Ireland's going back into it again, isn't it? You've got the Cinderella code now. Midnight, everything shuts down. So all the pubs are closing at midnight in Ireland now. So yeah, I mean, look, we'll definitely do it. It just can't. It's not a conscious decision not to do it. We just can't. Just interesting quote here from Per Erik Clausen, who is a Norwegian journalist. He's saying, reporting that Solskjaer is viewed as the long-term man by the club. He's not really in danger as of now. They just see this as a little blip. His job is safe, it seems. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if that was true. The thing is, I enjoyed Chelsea-Leicester more than I've enjoyed any United game in a long time. I think the last game I enjoyed of United was probably the Newcastle game when Ronaldo played his first one. So, you know, United's owners can think what they like, but they're slowly sort of destroying the club a bit. I think everyone but Watford fans want United to win today. United fans obviously want to win, but rival fans want United to win, so Ollie stays, says Uber Melon. I personally think he will stay. I think he will stay, Uber Melon, even if we draw. Maybe I'm crazy for hoping Donny will start today. It simply doesn't make sense, and I just feel immensely sorry for him. That's from who's that from? MUFC. Got a quote from Paul Merson as well. He's saying that Fernandes has lost confidence, and when you lose confidence, it doesn't matter how good a player you are. It is a different game. I worry about Manchester United. It needs to change. United and Lincoln to win today up the Imps as JC Gamers. Yeah, I've got the scores on and everything as well, so we'll keep you updated with that. If you are in the UK and you can't find a way of watching it, obviously it's not on the TV. You can listen to it and on the radio as well. And obviously we've got loads of people in the chat who will be watching it around the world, who do get to watch it from around the world. And keep an eye out for Solihull against Chesterfield as well. We want that. But thanks for subscribing. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Sancho needs to pull out a big performance, says Michael Gibbs. Does he, though? Does he? I don't agree with that. I think hopefully Sancho does put in a good performance, but I don't think he needs to pull a performance out, because I don't think he's not been given a run of games like Rashford or Greenwood's been given. I mean, look, I wouldn't put too much pressure on him. So, what time is it? We are 2:59, about to start the game here. A little bit nervous. I think reality kicks in, doesn't it, when the game kicks off, and you suddenly start to think, oh, actually, was I a little bit overconfident? But then, you know, you think about Cristiano Ronaldo, you think about the players that we've got, and you think, watch out for Sarr, though. He wins a lot of free kicks. It could. It's probably not this. In many ways, it's the perfect game for Luke Shaw, and in other ways, it's a bad game for Luke Shaw because Sarr is a handful. But watch out, Wan-Bissaka normally has a good game. I suppose Watford's two most dangerous players being wingers isn't necessarily a bad thing for Manchester United. But okay, so match has just kicked off. Tadarit Sarr. Oh, God, don't talk to me about that, Paul Lucas. Don't talk to me about Tadarit Sarr. It'd be interesting if Watford get into this game and really get onto it from the first sort of minutes and put a bit of pressure onto United, because I think if they do that could be a problem for United. Going to need to muster up all their experience and quality in this game today. Keep an eye out on the 3 o'clocks, especially Watford. Hamilton pole in the F1 if you're interested in that. Don't know what time the race is tomorrow. Great press by Watford to start off with, says Himanshu. Already slow and panicky, says Nicholas. Keep this coming, because a lot of people, especially in the UK, might be struggling to see the match today. They're probably having to listen to it. You can get it in on the radio. I think MUTV have it on a radio. They normally put it up on their sort of a radio coverage as well, so you can definitely get to listen to it. Top coaches Man United would like have standards and expectations Glaciers won't provide. Talk about the other coaches and people like that. They ain't good enough, says Nitil. Advath says we're long ball already. Yeah, keep it updated so people can read it in there. Not much in it so far, says Upper Trash 4. Of course, Ben Foster, the cycling goalkeeper, in goal. Matic and McTominay, I think, is going to be very interesting to see how they develop out as well. Please subscribe, by the way. We're very close to 210,000. Sorry, I just lost my chat there. Tonight we're gonna get. Has Aaron Wan-Bissaka been hard done by not having a consistent right winger, says Niall G? And I don't get how it is possible that we can watch basically every game in the USA, but it's not possible in England. Doesn't make sense. Wow, we've had that chat so many times. I don't think it's worth having here. United in their own half a lot at the moment. I tweeted you today on your comment on Van der Beek saying that I want Ollie to improve if he's learning, but no Van der Beek, and I think he'll have to eat his words, says Somya. Well, what are we sort of like 3.5 minutes into this game, and United are spending a lot defending at the moment, which is how I feared this game might go. It might go in the way that United are going to try and hit Watford on the break. So, slow tempo and hitting Watford on the break. Passing out from the back. Okay. I bet Ollie is giddy that his chair is sponsored by Football Manager, says Joshua Bowers. Yeah, Watford do have that. You're right. Yeah. De Gea is the best player so far, says Thomas. Can you say happy birthday to Will? Happy birthday to Will. That's from Joe Hamilton. Forest are winning 1-0. If you're interested in that sort of thing, always up for a bit of banter. Southampton are beating Norwich 1-0 as well. Stoke are winning as well. A win today doesn't change anything, says Jack Anori. If we employ a manager at the end of the season we could get right now, it would be a joke. Save this season now. I've seen the Friends version of Gary Neville. It's very funny if you've not seen it. So I think it's joe.ie or whatever have clipped up Gary Neville saying loads of words to the theme tune of the song Friends. So it's like, I'll be there for you. But the best thing is when it finishes, it goes, I'll be there for you because you scored in Camp Nou. So it's very, very, very good. But as I said, I think Gary Neville doesn't need clipping up. He probably would sing that for you anyway. Do you still plan on bringing Foster on after the match? Would love to hear his input. United don't look in sync whatsoever, says Joel. Tried to get him on before the game, but there's a penalty to... He's given a penalty to Watford. Penalty to Watford. John Moss. And they're going absolutely mad, Manchester United here. They'll check it on VAR. Let me just put the tweet out. Penalty to Watford. I don't know whether penalty's going to get given or not. It's a long ball over the top, and there's a coming together. And it looks like it's Scott McTominay. And it could be... Well, I'm just reading the chat. People are saying he falls over and takes the player down. I think it will be. I think it will be. It could be a red, but it certainly, I think it could be a penalty. It's double jeopardy. Double jeopardy. You won't get both, will you? So De Gea needs to save a penalty here. It's a lot of people in the chat are saying it's a definite penalty. So the ball goes over the top. McTominay's running with the striker. He falls over, and as he falls over, he takes the striker out. So penalty, no red, because it wouldn't be double jeopardy. And it's a crappy start here. And De Gea saves it. De Gea saves it. De Gea saves it. But they followed up and scored from a ridiculous angle as well. Great save by De Gea. Where's the lazy bastards at the back? That's shocking. So De Gea makes the save. An absolute prats at the back. Slow to react. And it's 1-0 to Watford. Disgraceful defending from United in the first instance anyway. Clumsy start. John Moss is having a look at it to see if they're in the box. There's all sorts of stuff going on now. I mean, I think might have been in the box after the shot's been taken. Before the shot's been taken. Does that mean it's a retake? Oh, I don't even know. So calm your tits. This might not be a goal. It's a great save by De Gea. But does that mean it has to be a retake? Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's chaos. Does anyone know the rules? Anyone know the rules? Ollie, do you know the rules? Karaki, tell us the rules. So De Gea makes the save. Follow up, great finish. No one's bothered to run with him, but it looks like it's in the box when the player's there. Harry Maguire doesn't understand the rules. Harry Maguire's going mad. So De Gea saves it, but it's a retake because the player was in the box. But I don't understand that. To be honest with you, I don't really understand that. That seems a bit unfair to me. But then again, actually, Harry, get your head on. Goldbridge, get your head on. Because if he'd scored it, it would be a retake as well. So, I'm seeing obviously United get the disadvantage because De Gea saved it and then he scored from it. But ultimately, I suppose the way to look at it is if that had been given, it would be a retake. So it's a retake. Oh, so we go again. I think it's the same player again. I mean, De Gea is improving on his penalties. He saved against West Ham. He's just saved Watford's penalties. He loves playing people with and penalties. And he saved it again! De Gea with 2 saves. Oh, I tell you what, this keeper's on fire. Never give him any shit again. He saved it again. He's done it again. De Gea saves again. Straight at him, but it's a great save. Never disrespect my keeper again. Never. Brilliant save. De Gea is the best player so far, says Thomas. Fancy that. He saves the first penalty, low down to his left. Retake, he saves the second penalty. Why is it a retake? If he encroached, he's committed an infringement, surely. If we had encroached, then yes, retake. It makes no sense, says Jake Marshall. I don't know. McTominay's a very lucky lad, though. Very, very lucky. Because it was a penalty. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and it is 0-0 in this game. United started off pretty poorly, to be honest. United looking to counter. De Gea already man of the match, tells our levels again, says Gerjo. Well, United are trying to Counter. That's what we're trying to do. We're playing deep and we're trying to counter. Somebody said Bruno's lucky, not McTominay. Was McTominay who committed the foul, mate? I don't think it was Bruno. He can't be sent off. McTominay cannot be sent off because I think that's double jeopardy, isn't it? You don't get a red card and a penalty anymore. Currently 12 minutes gone. There'll be a lot of time added on. Here's Ronaldo. Gets a shot in corner. This is where United are going to be very dangerous from corners. Norwich have equalised against Southampton, by the way. Newcastle, Brentford's 1-1. We've got a lot of early goals coming in early doors. 0-0 Wolves and Watford. So you're not... Ollie's at the wheel. Tell me how good does it feel? David De Gea has saved a penalty. The timer is below Manchester United. You should be able to see it to my right-hand side. Corner to United. Nothing doing. McTominay, a lucky lad. Bruno's wayward clearance put him in that situation. Says yellow bathing suit. Mate, he is very lucky because he took a player down in the box by falling over. Like, I don't care about the wayward clearance. McTominay fucked up. Deal with it. The game looks a bit all over the place at the moment. A few people saying that. No, here we go. I love our fan base. You've got the xenophobes, and then you've got the people who actually look at it in a fair way. I mean, it's Bruno's fault because of a misplaced back pass that McTominay got stuck under and slipped over and took the player out. If he doesn't slip over and he heads it, Bruno's made a mistake. If he falls over, the penalty's on McTominay. I mean, I can't understand why people don't see that the penalty happens because McTominay falls over. Mark, Bruno hoofed the ball to McTominay. It wasn't a Watford pass. I have to say it wasn't McTominay's fault. There's no matter how much I don't rate him. Jake, I have to say it was McTominay's fault because he fucking fell over and took the player out. And if he'd stayed on his feet, he wouldn't have took the player out and it wouldn't have been a penalty. But you think what you think. I'll think what I think. Imagine being a Man United player in a pre-game tactics meeting against the relegation side like Watford and your manager turns around and says, we're going to hit them on the breaks, as Ryan Kelly. Need to just get our foot on the ball and move up the pitch. Watford are more than happy to hit us on the break. So we need to move up the pitch. That's what we need to do. Get your foot on the pitch, which is why I would have played Donny in this game. Nearly slipping Rashford in. That was actually a good play by McTominay. Slipped Rashford in. What a horrendous show. Please, someone drag Ollie out of the club. Let's start a GoFundMe page to pay Ollie off, says John Pershtham. McTominay did well there. Nice little first touch and slipped it through to Rashford. I'm not talking. If you want to talk about whose fault it is, just moderators get rid of them. I'm not. We've had that. We've moved on it. De Gea saved 2 fantastic penalties. It's 0-0. If that's what you want to spend your time doing, we'll get rid of you. Mark, predictions on where we will finish this Fireball. I still think we'll get 4th because I think our squad's too good. Not interested, Humphrey. You've wasted £2 there. What a horrendous show. Watford are using the high press effectively, says Sean Finity. Yeah, but it's Watford at the end of the day. They shouldn't be able to be just pressing Manchester United and getting success from it. You know, we're Manchester United. Kim Jong Mark. I'll give it when it's good. I'll read it out when the banter's good. No, what I mean is let's just move on a little bit. Let's move on. It's 0-0. Probably quite fortunate to be 0-0. But having said that, your goalkeeper's job is to do that. If your goalkeeper saves a penalty, it's not a goal. Was a definite penalty, though. Matic is horribly slow. McTominay and Lindelof are awful. Maguire is a fridge without the talent or charisma. Ollie has changed nothing. 2-1 to Watford, says me. It's been a bit of a poor start from United. You just hope that quality is going to come through. Tadar, Sarr, says Maxwell. Who was it? Was it Sarr who missed both penalties? I think it was. Liverpool Arsenal at 5:30. Remember, Watford haven't had a clean sheet this season. They've shit the bed every game. Hi, Mark. Who do you think is the fastest players in the United squad? If you know, you know. Yeah, thanks for that, PT. Watching United players play bumper cars running into each other. Ollie's at the carnival wheel, says Mitch. These players have down tools. I don't know. I don't know about that. Maguire definitely won't have. We've got to be careful of Sarr and Dennis, though. They're they're not the sort of players that Lindelof and Maguire want to have anywhere near them. But I'd say that, you know, I think most people would agree that the ball has been mainly in the United half of the pitch. Sub Bruno off. Good block. We're struggling against Watford here. They're just more energetic than us at the moment. How can Ollie see the same Prats play every week? How does he keep playing in this project? Says Gerchen. And what does Mata do on the bench? Poker, Monopoly, Solitaire? Does he have impressions? Says Alligator. I hope he's got impressions. I'd love to see Mata doing some impressions. Honestly, we are not that bad looking on the good side. We are making runs and not just holding, looking better than last couple of games, says Joshua Adams. See, a bit of positivity there. UK Border Force need to sign De Gea. Nothing is getting past him, says Graham. And sack Ollie now and get Brendan in, or wait the season for a potential Zidane appointment, says Mark. I'd sack him now. I'd actually walk up to him on the sideline and go, there you go. Even if we were beating Watford 4-0. Burnley and Palace are 1-1. Ben Mee scored for Burnley. Yellow card here for a foul by Scott McTominay. The way Ollie has treated Donny is criminal. Doesn't look right today, McTominay, does he? He's given a penalty away. He's got a yellow card now. That's a trouble, though. You can almost put yourself into a situation where you're trying too hard. Sorry, I just came. What is your score prediction, says Fireball? Well, 3-1 to United. Yeah. I don't know who just said that we were playing good, but are we watching the same games? Says Akil. I left that open for the chat to interpret. You know, sometimes I'll do that. I'll just read a comment and won't react to it. We are literally camped in our own box. Ronaldo even playing behind Rashford at times, says Kay. I don't know what game Josh was watching. Maybe I don't know. McTominay commanding the midfield. Brilliant masterstroke by Ollie, says Druv. The only reason, sometimes some of the comments will be sarcastic, by the way. Fans singing Ollie's at the wheel, says KB. Yeah, but I ain't got a problem with that. I've said this a few times. I've got no problems with the way fans singing Ollie's at the wheel. They sang about Moyes. They sang about Mourinho. They are going to do that. The only reason Fred isn't playing is because he would have played 3 games in 1 week, says Joe. Unpopular opinion, does Brendan deserve to be considered based on this year's performances, says Humphrey. Maguire's misplaced passion after the retake was awarded. Looks like he's trying to look more like a captain after the recent criticism, says Marcus. The way we're playing, you could be confused as to which club is the big club. We can barely get the ball out of our own half, says Daryl. And fans are genuinely chanting the Donny song, says NMCC. Donny would be great in the midfield with speed and his physical presence, says Maz. Good on you for listening to the game on the radio and talking to us at the same time. Solid multitasking, says Salim. I've been doing it for 6 years, mate. We could play the best we've ever played today, and I'd still sack Ollie. You know we can't have back-to-back good performance from this team under Ollie, says ESC. Ollie did mention we need to come out like a pack of hungry wolves after the game. We look like a lump of diarrhea, says Rashid. And Ollie talked about correcting things in training and having a good start today, says Kemor. And Mark, I'm watching this with dead eyes. I don't feel anything. This is bad, says Nick P. Sooner or later, Ronaldo is going to lose his absolute shit at the coaches like he did with Fernando Santos, says Alligator. Ollie favourites, no, they won't get dropped. So no incentive or competition, says Brian Spence. And Mark, I'm so sorry. Even if you win this game, my lord, you guys look horrible. Why is everyone so close? Control the game and pass the ball. It's shameful, says Dano Jr. Well, United were on the attack there, but it's now Watford on the attack, and they win a corner. Bruno is average footballer, says Powell. And it wasn't our fans singing, was Watford's fans singing Ollie's at the wheel. So embarrassing. Well, this is the problem. You know, sometimes it will be the others. I mean, how long have we had? 22 minutes. Yeah. Good tweet from Goldbridge there. I'm sure it will get put up on the screen. Yeah. When one of the worst teams in the league are chanting Ollie's at the wheel, you know you're in trouble. I want to know these things changed and tweet. I tell you what, they nearly just scored there, Watford. I don't know. Who was it who did the block? Myth said there was a good block there. They didn't actually mention who the block was from. They just said good block from a good chance from Watford. I don't know. Was it? I don't know. McTominay isn't playing good, but I doubt he'd be that under a good coach. Says, no, Rafa, I agree. I think if he was under a decent coach, I would give him I'd give him a go. It was Maguire with the block. Ranieri knows how to tactically beat Ollie, just like Rodgers did, says Iram. It was Maguire with the block. Fair play. Yeah, there's a thoroughly average tweet on the screen by now. I think De Gea would have saved it anyway, wouldn't he? Because he is a super keeper. Ain't nothing getting past David today. Famous last words. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Watford have been really good in this game. United really haven't done anything. Again, was it what we are 24 minutes? We've not had a shot. I think Ronaldo had a shot that went for a corner, but we've not tested their keeper once yet. David De Gea has already saved 2 penalties, and Maguire's just come up with a block. When will you face it? This squad isn't as good as you think it is. Ollie is being scapegoated, says Rash. Oh, Rash. When are you going to wake up and smell some coffee? Watching from United States, it's my wife's birthday. Could you wish Abby a happy birthday, says Jacob. I'm happy to bring something happy into the show. So happy birthday to Abby. I hope you have a good day. Getting cut apart and outplayed by Watford like most teams, disgrace, says CM. And I'm confused by how this game is going. Which man's job is actually on the line today, says Krishna. I think the problem with this game so far is, and look, we've still got, we've only had a quarter of the game. But the problem with this game so far is that even if we manage to win it, 25 minutes has gone and we've been the worst team. That's the concerning thing, is that we have not come into this game and reacted. I can genuinely see Ollie clapping the fans for chanting his name. He thinks it's so flattering that everyone adores him, says Michael Fetty. And Ronaldo's playing as a third CDM, says Aban Manu. Bruno's playing bad. I've got to say, I've not really heard much from Bruno. So we've got hashtag Ask Goldbridge. If is United the most frustrating team to watch? In my opinion, we are, with the players at our disposal. Well, yeah, you'd have to say that. Watford were solid against us last week, says Oliver, who must be an Arsenal fan. And what a sloppy mess of a game. No chemistry, no composure, says Keisho. Bruno is an excellent footballer, but looks in a rut. He is fatigued. Has he lost confidence, or is he down tools, or all three? Well, he's not playing particularly well for Portugal either, is he? And Mark, as a player, when you see your goalie standing on his head, how can you play so lackluster? It's mind-boggling, says Brian Spence. I mean, the concern is if United go 1-0 down in this game, they've at 0-0, they're not giving much fight. They just look, United just look so disjointed from a tactical point of view. And I know, it's hard sometimes to look at a game tactically. We have got the better players on paper, but when you look at this game tactically, it's just a mess. It's so clear how bad we are coached. Yeah, I mean, I just tweeted it there as well. Just tactically, it's a mess because Watford are quite clearly the better footballing team in the way that they've approached the game. Obviously, we've got better players, so that should be, that's the way we can win the game. But if Watford score, that's the problem, isn't it? Cross comes into the box, Wan-Bissaka clears it away, and he's not cleared it away, and it is 1-0 to Watford, and it's bloody Josh King. Bloody Josh King. It had to be him. Bloody Josh King. That's the banter, isn't it? That is the pure banter. Josh King scores for Watford. It had to be bloody Josh King. Whoa, I tell you what, it's only what Watford deserve. It's only what they bloody deserve anyway. I was just literally saying that in the context of the game, they've been the better side. We're lower than tits on a worm. Bloody tits on a nun, tits on a worm. We're low. We're going low, low, low. I mean, what is this? What is this we are being served up? If this was a restaurant, we would go mad. We're like, what is it? I'd be sticking my fingers in the soup and saying it's shite. Take it back. It's rubbish. We're meant to be coming out like a pack of wolves. We've come out like a pack of prats. We've got 2 white flags today. Look at the team. Look at the team. Look at the players we've got compared to Watford. We have got amazing players on that piece of paper. And yet for half an hour, Watford have been the better team. We've not had a shot on bloody goal. Sack the manager, for God's sake. Even if we go on and win this game and bounce back again, I've seen enough again. We're shit. And we might go on and win this game and people might go, oh, look at you, Goldbridge. You were moaning when we went 1-0 down to Josh King. We might win this game still. But bloody hell, wake up and smell the coffee. Someone get Ed Woodward's head, open up a big jar of Nescafe and make him smell it. Because we're shit. We're absolutely shit. We're getting played off the park by Watford, who thoroughly deserve to win. And let's not forget, should be 2-0 up. Because if they could score a bloody penalty, which they bloody missed twice, we'd be 2-0 down. It's a joke. But we've been on about this for 3 weeks. 3 weeks we've been talking about this now. Sack him. He's crap. The coaching's rubbish. Get rid of him. Even if we win this game, get rid of him. He's bloody useless. If you're getting played off the park by Watford, if you're parking the bus against Watford with Cristiano Ronaldo in the team, you've got a bloody big problem. And if you're Manchester United and you've had the Busby Babes, 68, 99, every other bloody bit of great history, and you're playing like this against Watford, you've got a problem. Just engage your bloody brains, you prats at the top, and do what needs to be done, because it's an embarrassment. An absolutely bloody embarrassment. And we'll probably go and win this game now. People will go, look at what Goldbridge did when we went 1-0 down. It's not just about winning. We're shit. Absolutely shit. And this is the team Ollie built. He's not been here 3 weeks. He's been here 3 years. 3 years he's built this team to this point. They'll probably start playing well now. Now we're 1-0 down because Watford will have to defend. But the proof is in the pudding. Great save by Ben Foster there. Good chance. I think it was Rashford. You see, United, typical United start playing now. Thanks for the laugh from a Liverpool supporter. says Jack. And Mark, you complained at Ollie for not playing Matic and Sancho. When he does, it's still his fault, says Rash. I won't read you again. That's 2. 2. You're not getting read on the 3rd time. You're a troll, mate. You're obviously a troll. When have I moaned about him playing bloody Matic? I've said Donny. Take a deep breath. I don't want you having a seizure. Hunter, I've just got to calm now. I'm just calming down. Anyway, please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And remember, you can do player ratings in the second half. Mourinho had never had such a bad performance with a squad with 50% of the quality we have now, says David. We're going to get destroyed by Chelsea. I'm going to the Burnley game. I got stationed in the army in Germany just so I can come to see United. So sad, says Magic Eye. McTominay needs to be hooked. He's been dreadful so far and probably should have had a red by now. Free Donny, says Harry. Do you think it's possibly the players are trying to lose on purpose because they know Ollie will be 100% gone if we lose? But he won't be 100% gone if we lose Jacob. Why would he be 100% gone if we lose? Like, it's 2 days to Villarreal. We need to win. We need to win. Another case of being absolutely out coached. Ranieri is no dummy, says Alligator. Enough of the theatrical. This isn't a massive surprise, but no need for shouting and screaming. Just giving the channel a bad name, says NMCC. Mate, if you don't like the content, do one. I'm not bothered. Like, this is real life for some of us. It's a joke. It's a joke. The situation is a joke. Mark, we look like a team who took a week off. Watford look in sync, says Louis Lopez. And is it half time yet? Nearly half time. Yeah. What's happened to our football club? Enough is enough, says Luke. And Mark, I'm not a troll. I just feel our squad is overrated, says Rash. Surely these players have pride and would show their quality against Watford. Well, Watford always concede. Jamie Preston, thanks for the super chat. Watford have not kept a clean sheet this season, so there's something to cling on to. Love the channel, but just think it's not a surprise that we're losing in this state, but the reaction just makes it look fake, says NMCC. Well, you don't love the channel, mate, because I've been doing this for 6 years and I always wear my heart on the sleeve and I'm always passionate. And to be honest with you, I actually did predict we would win the game. So it is a bit of a shock to me because I did expect a bit of a reaction. So, you know, might not be a surprise to you, but I do expect teams with Cristiano Ronaldo, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes against Watford, who I think will get relegated. I expect some quality to show through. I don't expect to be sat 35 minutes into a game with no shots on target and really being lucky to be 1-0 down because it should be 2. It's so frustrating that the board doesn't see anything. There hasn't been one game where we won coaching battle. Ollie out, says Cardo. Corner to United. This shows the difference in play between a manager that knows what he's doing with a bad team and a manager who knows nothing with a good team, says Jordan. And corner's been cleared. Ollie talks about coming out like a wounded animal against Watford. This animal is dead, says Nathan. And Thomas Tuchel is a god, says Ben. Jamie, thank you very much for the super chat. I did. No, all right. What's wrong with him? What? He's got a temperature. It's not 2-0, by the way. It's not 2-0. He's just got a bit of a cough and a cold. He's had it all week. So how do we get back into this game? Well, you get back into this game by actually having an idea how to get back into a game. Like, just the dangerous thing is that this is the new level of Manchester United. Like, you know, we're at the club are actually, people are like, oh, Glazer's out, this, that, and the other, but they've succeeded. They've succeeded in getting to this point. Maguire's just stopped it from being 2-0 there, actually. I think it's gone for a corner. They've succeeded in the fact that, you know, you will celebrate the fact that if we get back into it. All the gear and no idea reminds you of Ollie Marks as Matthew. Tinkerman versus Tinkerbell, says Steve Locke. I always love this club, but Ollie is breaking my heart, says MIPSH. The reaction would be fine at the end of the game after losing, but 35 minutes in, it's early, says NMCC. Mate, I'm not going to read anything more from you either. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's 3 comments you've put in now about my reaction to Manchester United being 1-0 down to Watford and played off the park. Well done to you for thinking I should be relaxed. I'm not going to be relaxed. And I don't think many other United fans are relaxed, but well done to you, and stop wasting everybody's time telling people how to be a fan. The border a joke. Ollie's just a yes man. Yeah, moderators can block fake scores, of course. They know that. They know that. Time to get Ferguson to manage team for rest of the season. No, why should Sir Alex Ferguson be brought into this? Let him enjoy his retirement. I genuinely believe a new manager could come in and do a better job against Villarreal, says Kieran Smart. Mate, I could do a better job against Villarreal. My team for Villarreal. De Gea in goal. I'd still pick Wan-Bissaka and Shaw as my fullbacks. I'd go with Bailly and I'd go with Lindelof. I would go with... I'd probably play Fred and Donny, to be honest. I wouldn't play Matic. You'd be too tired. I'd give Martial a run out on the left. I'd go Sancho on the right. And I'd probably have to go with Bruno and Ronaldo. But look, they'd be rejuvenated. Why is it always when De Gea is in form, we play like crap? Says... and when he's out of form, we get results, says Mutaz. We're going to be second half FC, aren't we here? Ben Foster would love to come on the channel now, Mark, says Mo Overton. We're garbage. He made a good save, actually. Do you think Ollie was better at the beginning when he started, or do you think he was always like this, says Sonny? Well, when he first came in, everyone just had a bounce, didn't they? And then he gave him the contract. What do you think of Whack Him Low, says Adam? He's a coach. He's better than bloody Ollie. That's for sure. Not had a drink in years, but I need a beer, says Patrick. Shan, thank you very much for the super chat. My God, the Glazers have been cancer. The people they put in charge, the decisions over the years, the mind boggles, says Sean Collins. Do you think it's a case of the players have given up? Ask me at full time. If they come back and win, then they haven't given up, have they? Great save by De Gea again. Oh, it could be 3-0. Mark, Zidane or Ollie should stay. Should be 3-0. This game should be over. He's headed it straight at him. It should be over. Whatever happens in this game, I'm just going to keep it for the match reaction so I remember. It should be over. Whether we come back and win 4-0 in the 4-1 in the second half or not, it should be over. They've had the chances to win the game. Panam says, always in tears when you start screeching, hooting and hollering. Keep it up, old boy, says Panam. Can't wait to hear the Neville spin on this. How is he going to defend this, mate, says Lazy. I mean, I just wanted to... Surely at some point we're going to create a chance. We've spent 441 million on players and we are 1-0 down to Watford. Exactly, Munty. At some point... we're going to surely create a chance. Can we fire Ollie at half time, says Crunch. Come on, Mark. Isn't it time for Ollie to hang the gloves up? Disgraceful and shocking, says Sean. But he'll believe he can turn it around, Sean. Watch the rugby, Mark. It's a lot better for morale. I can't, mate. This is what support's all about. I might be able to avoid press conferences, but I can't not watch United. I'm surprised how bad we're playing. Ollie talked about training. What exactly did we do in training, says Arpit. And this game is like the Liverpool game, just without the quality up front. It should be over, says Kate. Yeah, I think if this is Liverpool or Man City, it's over. The fact that it's not is giving us a bit of a chance. Still 0-0 Wolves and Watford, by the way. Wolves and West Ham. Watford probably could. Bloody hell! It's 3-2 to Palace at Burnley. They've had 5 goals in the first. Oh, Chesterfield have scored against Solihull Moors. Bloody great. Ollie would be hoping that it's just 1-0 at half time so that he could lose 2-0 after full time, says Druv. Hi, Mark. Not sure if you've noticed, but it's always been Ricky's preferred midfield too. So far, been a complete shambles, I'm afraid. Yeah, well, Ricky doesn't always get everything, Mike. Right, Mike. He has been right on some things, but I would never pick McTominay and Matic. I think they are a shit combination, and it's very obvious they'd be a bad combination. I'm midway through my beers, but still need some whiskey. Ollie is destroying my liver, says Sam. And the board had the whole break to fix it, but they've just made the mess worse. What the fuck is Ollie shouting at the touchline? And Mark, he will be fired today, surely. Please tweet Ollie out so we can support you and get the Glazers to listen, says James. Hi, Mark. Really enjoy the content. Can you call my brother Daniel Pratt? Says Adam. United made the big mistake of going Ollie full-time manager in the first place, says Darren. And the fact we're not surprised at how bad we are playing says it all about the manager and the coaching staff, says Lance. I mean, this is just an experiment in how you can have an amazing team and play crap. Why and who are the Glazers scared of? Why they're scared, says Ricky. Because I think they're scared of being wrong. I think they're arrogant and they don't want to be wrong. That's basically it. McTominay has the defensive prowess of a traffic cone, says Brandon. 2-0 to Watford. It's only, I'm not even going to get angry now. Sarr makes it 2-0. I mean, this is, you know what? I'm not even going to get angry. They should be winning 4-0. This is demolition of Manchester United. This is what Arsenal were like. When Arsenal fans used to scream and shout because they were losing? Nah, no, I ain't going to do that. This is absolutely deserved. This is domination of Manchester United. Tactical domination of Manchester United. They are better than us. They deserve to be 2-0 up. They've absolutely outplayed us. They should have scored the penalty. Josh King had a free header. They've passed us around the bloody park. It's, I don't, just crap defending. Maguire's nowhere near him. But you know what? You know who's to blame? The Glazers. This is on the Glazers. This is on Woodward and the Glazers. They should have made a change before. Shouldn't even be here for this game. Like, he's a dead man walking. He shouldn't even be here for this game. Two-0 down to Watford. Situation untenable as I predicted. He has to go tonight, says Nick P. Wounded animal on that had its legs ripped off by Liverpool and its arms ripped off by City, maybe, says the Bolfman. Come on, Mark. Ollie said he's made some changes and tweaks. I'm sure we will see them in the second half. You better not bring Donny on at half time, says Sean Turner. I've got to say I'm absolutely stunned. I'm stunned. I mean, of course, United could lose this game, but I actually feel sorry for Ollie. I feel sorry for him. I mean, what sort of emotion is that to feel sorry for him? Because he shouldn't even be here. I don't understand the formation. Ronaldo is playing deeper than Bruno, says Asset. Wounded animal. I've done that. Kane, thank you very much for the super chat. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I mean, have the players down tools? Probably. I think the one thing you'd have to say, thank you, James, for becoming a member. I think the one thing you would have to say is that it's unbelievable, really. I'm just, I mean, the only thing that might let us back into this game is the fact that Watford might think that it's won. You know, you think about Atalanta, you think about Villarreal. The game was basically over at half time, and maybe United can capitalise on the fact that Watford take their foot off our neck a little bit. But I can't moan about it too much because they totally deserve to be winning, and they deserve to be winning by more than 1-0. You know, you could argue that it could be 3-0. Certainly, Josh King should have scored. The dangerous thing is, somebody said, well, what if he comes back and wins 3-2? But the lesson is not in, we've done this against Southampton. We were 2-0 down this time last year and we won 3-2. Like, we can come back and win. We know we can come back and win. But the trouble is, the seed has been sown. The game has been set in relation to Ollie. Bury your head in the sand time, says David. I'm eating ice cream just to ease the pain a bit. Chelsea game is going to be icing on the cake, says David. Connor, welcome to the members club. Maguire really had the audacity to celebrate like he did against Albania, says YUFC. Well, I think on the second goal, Maguire's marking is tremendous. I mean, and I don't mean tremendously good. I think our defense just looks horrible. Like, horrible. Josh King, Cleverly Foster, all players that were let go by United now dominating us, as AJ, Robin. I mean, I do want, for the half time, I want people to sort of give their opinions on both goals conceded as to, where the blame lies on them. The first one, I haven't really seen it, so I can't really comment on it. But it is half time. Watford don't even get to take their corner. They took 2 penalties and David De Gea saved them, but he's not been able to save Manchester United from being 2-0 down. We're playing long balls against Watford. De Gea has had more touches than Ronaldo. No coach is better than this, says Kia. And remember when Cleverly was the scapegoat during Moyes' days? Now he's playing for Watford, defeating us. How far have we come as a club? David De Gea is just walking off. He looks quite relaxed, to be honest. He's not banging the bloody... it's amazing. I love David De Gea, but he's walking off having a chat with Josh King there. It's like, it's not a shock. We won't necessarily come back and win this. This is the Premier League. This isn't Atalanta, says Tuscan. It hurts even more because of how much I love Ollie, but he has to go. He's done a lot of good since he came in, but he's in danger of doing all that because of how embarrassing we've been this season, says Tyler. Mark, let this sink in. Had this not been for David De Gea, we could have been down 4-0, says Mojo. The first thing I would say to start off with is that we're in this position because of Ed Woodward and the Glazers. And, many people say that the protests shouldn't have stopped. The protests, in my opinion, I'm one voice. It doesn't matter. And if I say it in front of 72,000, it could become 72,000 voices. So I've got to be very, very careful. But the problem at this football club is Ed Woodward and the Glazers. The fact that Ed Woodward is going to be kept on as a bloody advisor is ridiculous. Advise what? On how you can destroy a football club over 8 years. I don't care how many bloody bed pillow brands you've got or condom deals. It doesn't matter. As a football CEO, you've been shit, mate. And now you won't sack Solskjaer because you don't want the world to think you're shit. Everyone thinks you're shit for sticking with him. Villa sacked their manager and replaced him. Norwich sacked their manager and replaced him. Spurs sacked their manager and replaced him. Man United, with a game against Watford, which a new manager would have won. We would have won this game on a pure bounce. Whether it's Brendan Rodgers, Zinedine Zidane, Ten Hag, Luis Enrique, whoever the new manager had been for this game, we would have won it. All due respect to Watford, but we would have done because you get the bounce, you get the players wanting to play for a manager. We would have won this game. People will blame Ollie for this. He shouldn't even be in a job. I said this 2 weeks ago. He is a dead man walking. He's been hung out to dry by the board. All the media, all the fans, everybody knows he shouldn't be manager of Man United. And the players know it. They're playing like they know it. They're playing for a guy they know they like, but they know he's not good enough. This result today is on the Glazers and Ed Woodward for thinking they know better than decades and decades of United fans who know what United's all about. They think they know better than you. And they've gone, we'll stick with it. These 3 points, if we lose them, or, even if we win them, he should still go. I've never seen Man United get dominated by a relegation side as much as I've just seen in that 45 minutes. I don't think we had a shot. Well, Ben Foster made a save. But he shouldn't even be here. We've just given away what should have been 3 points, potentially. I mean, look, there's still 45 minutes. We've seen us be second half FC. But, a large part of me is like, well, what if we come out in the second half and we win this game now? Like, what if you do? What if we come out and win this game in the second half now? What does that mean? Because ultimately, we're at that point now where I never want United to lose, but we've got the evidence. He's got to go, and he's got to go now. That look on Ollie's face is heartbreaking. He looks resigned. What have the board done to his legacy? Says Asset. And I'm glad that other people are realising who's at fault for this. Ollie can't sack himself. I'll blame Ollie for picking McTominay and Matic, and I want to talk about that. But he can't sack himself, and he shouldn't be in this job. As bad as this is, at least it's the last we have to witness, surely, says Eamon. Mate, if they couldn't get a new manager in 2 weeks, what makes you think they're going to be able to do it 2 days ahead of Villarreal? Well, you know what these prats will do? They'll sack Solskjaer and they'll keep Carrick and McKenna. Fucking hell. Like, come on. As much as Ollie's to blame, he doesn't coach the team. Would love to see a side-by-side season of Ollie versus United stand community on calling formation and tactics and see who comes out on top, says Matt Ross. Leicester City, Liverpool, and now Watford, the same back four, lost count of goals conceded, says Druv. Teams aren't scared to attack us. We are inept tactically, and thanks to crap coaching, we are walking the park at training and in the boardroom, says Fergus. Goldbridge in, says Tom Payne. Hello, Mark. Today it's my 30th, and I'm hoping the Glazers give my birthday wish of sacking Ollie, says Chris. Mark, what do you think Ollie as a player would think about Ollie as a manager if he played under him, says Aswani. And Mark, even if we're second half FC, I can only see us salvaging a draw. If the Glazers had any bottle, Ollie will go tonight, says Joe. But have they got a manager ready to come in and replace him? And that is always going to be the big, big problem. Have they got the manager to replace him? And can I just say as well, as much as Ollie should have been sacked by the Glazers, let's not forget why he should have been sacked. He should have been sacked because his coaching team is shit. Michael Carrick, Mike Phelan, McKenna, Ollie, useless, rubbish. Get them all out of the football club. They've all got to go. Do not just put it onto Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Put it onto that. Because I'm telling you now, whoever decided to pick Scott McTominay and Nemanja Matic as a midfield two today are absolute prats. I mean, the games are won and lost in the midfield. And I think defensively, yes, we've had problems, but they've had so many opportunities. How are they getting at our back four? Riddle me that. How are they getting at our back four? Because our midfield is static. McTominay's given a penalty away. He's on a yellow card. He's done sod all. He is Ollie's Roy Keane. He ain't Ollie's Roy Keane. He's Roy Cropper off Coronation Street. He's bloody useless in that midfield. And Matic, why is Donny van der Beek not playing today? It just looks even more stupid. Why is Donny van der Beek not playing today? And then you've got Harry Maguire. Oh, Harry Maguire, who scores against Albania. He's a great captain. He leads by example. He can't even mark a bloody centre forward. His job is to mark players. His job is to organise. His job is to be the best centre-back on that pitch. He's not. He's not even in the top four. And there's probably only 4 centre-backs on the pitch. But the worrying thing is there might be 1 or 2 players on that pitch who don't actually, want Ollie as manager anymore. And maybe that's impacting on their performance. But McTominay, Maguire and a couple of others, they're in the favourites club. They love Ollie and they're performing like that. When your favourites are performing like that, it's time to go. I wanted us to win today, but at this point we don't deserve it, says Mark Dobby. I think, Mark, that's the biggest problem. We don't deserve to be in this game. Like, we do not deserve anything from this game. Like, we deserve to be 3-0 down, not 2-0 down. Even smaller teams are pressing us now, says Aditya. I can't believe that we've parked the bus against Watford, invited the pressure. Like, they would have expected us to attack them, not the other way around. I cannot believe we have parked the bus against Watford and invited them on, and they've annihilated. Pathetic, Ollie. There is absolutely no midfield, no connection from front to back. Such backward football. Watford is fighting relegation, says Vicky. Mate, we've had a week of good training. We've put a lot of wrongs right. You never say those things until you've won the bloody game. You came back from Atalanta and lost 5. You came back from Atalanta and got smashed from City. Win, lose, or draw. This is not sustainable, says Salah. Chelsea will annihilate us next week. They will. Unfortunate result to be expected. Crap board and awful coaching. Bottle jobs FC. Decisions should have been made way before now, says JRB. I agree. Every United fan who said that this international break had been wasted was spot on. They've absolutely embarrassed themselves by not doing what needed to be done. Ollie is like a 10-incher with performance issues. All the gear and no idea, says Louis. I don't know. Okay. Donny Boy should be on the pitch, says Pushan. McTominay is Roy Keane from Wish, says Peter. If people think he should resign, who will walk away from millions? This has been going on even since Sir Alex's incompetence all around. It's very sad, says FL. United is the only team in the Premier League who's yet to score a set piece. Also, how can we boss the midfield if we play 4-2-4 against the 5-4-5-1, says Aditya. You keep saying you expect United to finish fourth based on the team. How can you say that when we can't beat Watford? Care to change expectations? Says Bradley. If we lose this game, we ain't going to get top four under Ollie. This team should have walked top four. Even under Ollie, we should have walked top four. And the fact that we haven't is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. At this point, can we get touched 5-0? That City supposed to enact on us because that's all Glazers see score lines. Oh, we only lost 2-0 against City, says Philip. United, Kev, Brady. We hired a set piece specialist in the summer and the only club in the Premier League so far not to score from one. And Mark, tweet the picture of Maguire celebrating against Albania, says Jimmy. No, that's just that's not needed. I will do, but if we're all set up for, I can just stop, can't I? On paper, we have one of the best squads in Europe with the GOAT at number 9, yet we can't beat a relegation team. Ollie out, Glazers out immediately, says FIFA crazy. Ollie can't sack himself, but he can resign. I wouldn't walk away from the money, Mark, to be honest. Mikhail, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm switching to City until we start winning again, says Jordan. I know that's a joke. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. The thing is, I'm just gonna put my adapter in. The thing is, need some power. This is what Ollie's going to do. Kaneki, can you get a new battery for Bruno? But, you know, I think the saddest thing about all of this is that we have put ourselves in this situation, as we know, whereby we... I've commented on United matches for a long, long time, as you know, and I think that when it comes to how we've... can't put it in. Where is it? When it comes to United's... When it comes to United games, there's plenty of occasions where you can sort of say, well, United, we've been unlucky, we've lost the game because of a deflected shot, etc. But the problem with this game is that, you know, very rarely do you watch a game and feel like, you know, 2-0 is an injustice. But the other way, I think it should be 3 or 4-0. I think they've been so much better than us. And that is the only positive for United, is that it's only 2-0. Because it definitely should be 3-0, maybe 4-0. And if it is that, sorry. Dyke would have started Donny, says Grantos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer look like mugs now in the Keane debate, says Ash G. Because of not sacking a month ago, even if the next manager comes tomorrow, he only has half the squad to work with. Others already looking elsewhere, says Shravan. And Mark, you just hate on Ollie and the Glazers and certain players you pick and choose. Okay, lavish. Thank you very much for your nonsense. But, appreciate that. Miss my chat legend. The club is still on holiday mode. Players are all over the place and Ollie just looks defeated. I feel for him, says Dirty. And if he doesn't want Donny, then take off Scott and play Martial on the left with Rashford and Ronaldo up front and keep Sancho on the right, says Mohammed. Can we start a GoFund for Ollie's 7 million payoff? So apparently Martial and Donny coming on. Everyone smells blood except the Glazers, says Matt Ross. And we go again. Ollie post-match interview, I bet. The interesting thing is with Martial and Donny, they'll probably come out, put on a really good performance to save him. And realistically, they could just go, fuck you, and just play through the motions, knowing that a new manager will give him a better chance. Be interesting to see what happens with that. Mark, it tells you a lot about someone. Ollie, get up, get on the touchline and shout and get angry. His job's at risk and still nothing, says Funny Norfolk. Mohammed says we can get top 4 now, so why are the owners still keeping Ollie? Do they want us relegated or something? Says Mohammed. ZZ, thanks for the super chat. What a joke. We are a joke, says NYC. Connor Shields, thank you very much and welcome to the members club. Hey Mark, been watching United Stand since 2015. Used to watch Back from India, moved to Billing this week. Now at least I can watch morning shows on the morning. Thank you very much, Reflection. One team took 2 weeks to prepare for this game. The other went on holiday, says YUFC. Well, let's just give Watford a little bit of credit here. I haven't really thought about Watford at all. But when you think about Watford, this is 3 massive points for them if they can get it. Tommy wouldn't get in a West Ham midfield joke. Well, no, he wouldn't get in a bloody. I don't think he'd get in a bloody. I'm trying to think of some West Brom midfield, let alone West Ham MVP. Looking at Ronaldo, disappointed, really breaks my heart. It's a dream to see him in a United shirt and it's getting wasted, says Swapnil. Daniel Haynes, thank you for joining the members club. One team, okay, thank you very much. Just trying to confirm that not Bruno, Donny is coming on. I'm just thinking it might be for Bruno. So could be that. Watching United, yeah, they are coming on. United used to stress Buster, but now it has become a major reason for stress in life. The Glazers owned Buccaneers, got a new manager, got Tom Brady, won the Super Bowl last year, and our first this season, why United left in the dark, says MMA. Donny and Martial coming on. Yeah.
Well, that's always a good thing. He's disappeared for a moment. We'll get him back in a second, folks. Don't worry about it. These things do happen. So give it a couple of moments. Second half underway. Jesus Christ. This is not a good thing, is it? We'll try and get Goldbridge back in a second anyway. We'll just look at your chats at the moment whilst we can get them on the screen. That's what we got. We've got you back now, Goldbridge. Your sound's not on though. You got no audio. Still no audio. Nope. Let me check your settings. Not entirely sure what's gone on here, but no one can hear you. I'm going to bring you in again. I'm going to do it manually. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. Sorry about this, guys. Right. Working on the hop. Bear with me, mate. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I can hear you now. Yeah. Okay. Got you back. Right. Okay. Sorry, guys. We got him back. Just give me 2 seconds. It's a bit of a pain, but it's fine. And you are back on screen.
Thank you very much. I don't know. That was my laptop because I was. It just froze. I don't know what went wrong there. But we're back. So Martial and Donny on, and I believe I don't know who's come off. Bruno's still on. I think Matic has come off, and is it Rashford who's come off? No, McTominay and Rashford off. Is it? I don't know. Yeah. Rashford and McTominay have come off, so I can't argue with that. 2 of his favourites off. So yeah. So Martial and Rashford sorry, Martial and Ronaldo as a front two. Sancho to the right. Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing for me is that, I mean, just imagine if this works and then he sort of keeps doing it. And like, we're into this weird world with United now where it's like, is he, you know, people are saying he'll get sacked after this. He should have been sacked after Liverpool. He definitely should have been sacked after City. If we did lose this, does he get the sack? I mean, I don't know. He's almost unsackable. It's like, try something else now. Do you need the timer? That's all right. 48 and 30. Oh, let me know and I'll tell you. Ollie looks a bit of a taxidermy sat there. About time we had a passionate manager, says Tony. So we're 48 and 49, 50, 51, 52. There we go. He's lost the players. This is sad, but he's got to go for the good of the club and his own. He's legend of the club, and if he wants to be remembered as one of them, he's got to go now, says Krish. 1 a.m. here, Mark. This is just painful now. I'm not even angry anymore. This has to be Ollie's final match. Also, Donny looks good already 1 minute in, says Cho. And Donny coming on excited Goldbridge that much that he unplugged his computer to make sure he wasn't dreaming, says Robertson. Yeah, I don't actually know what I did, but it definitely caused an issue. Oh, United have got a goal back. Donny van der Beek straight away. Donny van der Beek scores for United. I told you. Donny scores for United. Yeah. I don't know how it happens. I mean, basically, I think it's Sancho who whips a cross in, and I think Ronaldo gets the assist by heading it down. Yeah, Ronaldo heads it down and Donny heads it in. So lovely goal for Manchester United, 2-1. Plenty of time to get back into it. Second half, FC. Look, you know what? People will say, "Why aren't you celebrating?" I think I think anyone can excuse at the moment that United are I just don't know what we are. You know, if we come and win this game 3-2 now because of Donny and Martial, will he stick with them? It was never part of his plan. It's just a bloody mess. You know, it's just a mess. And in that sense, I just don't know what to think about it. I really don't. I'm pleased for Donny, though. 2-1. Very early in the second half, so there's plenty of time to go. And look, Martial and Donny are going to do a better job than McTominay and Rashford ever did. So it gives us a chance. Wouldn't it be ironic if Donny saves Ollie's job, says Simon? Well, it's a very real. It's not ironic. It's probably quite realistic. It's not a surprise, is it? We've been on about Donny van der Beek for a year, saying he needs to play more games for United, and he comes on instantly and scores a goal. And it's not just Donny. I think Martial gives us more than Rashford does, and Donny definitely gives us more than McTominay does. It won't be a surprise to me if we come back and win this game, because I think the players will play with more freedom now. And, you know, I think that Watford maybe think the game is won, or I don't know. But another corner here. They nearly had a good chance there, Watford. Having said that, maybe we're doing Watford a bit of a disservice. Yeah, no, yeah. But at least it would have stayed live on your screen, wouldn't it, I suppose? That's the thing, yeah. Yeah, it makes... I don't know what that was all about. Corner to Watford anyway. I've got Ronaldo in my fantasy Premier League team, so that's at least an assist. Might be more time. Ollie the Wally only needs a brolly, says Chalk Farm. I'm very pleased for Donny van der Beek. Very, very pleased for Donny van der Beek. Technical difficulties is weird. I don't like seeing how the sausage is made, if you catch my drift, says Marky. Says Karen took the kids. And another save from De Gea. Yeah, De Gea's actually played well. You can't really blame him for any of the goals. Mark Bruno is burnout and he's playing bad, says John. I wouldn't disagree with you on that one. You know, actually, this will stand no matter what the result is. When you look at what happened with McTominay, you know, this is a player that Ollie just drives into the ground, plays him game after game. And that was an atrocious first half from McTominay. He was atrocious against Man City. He's been atrocious for a long time. I think he played quite well against... offside. I find it strange every time when I watch together with my wife, we're losing and she is gone and we start scoring. This can't be a coincidence, says Arjun. Send her off to the shops. Bless you, United Stand team, working so hard behind the scenes with all the stuff we don't see. Really appreciate what you do, says Sam. Thank you very much. I think Ronaldo was offside. People are saying it should have been a pen. When we are on the press, we are awful. It's Liverpool all over again. If this was any other top team, it's game over. Already no cohesion, Mark, says Choir Boy. And watching Ollie is like watching the Truman Show, says P-Bet. We'll be a better team in this second half and we'll create more chances. And I actually think we won't lose this game now. I think getting the early goal in the second half, it reminds me a little bit of Atalanta. You know, it's all about timings with your goals. If we can get the second one before the 70th minute, I think we'll actually end up winning it. But I don't think we'll lose this game now. And the reality is, I think Matic and Donny play well together anyway. Lovely pass by Donny van der Beek. And nearly a goal from Manchester United there. Bruno didn't really connect. But, you know, I'm going to put a tweet out. Absolute disgrace. Yeah, but, you know, I think he's shown in like 6 minutes how much better he is. I've got to get up again 1 minute. He's shown in 6 minutes how he's better than McTominay and Fred. And yet Ollie's, you know, favouritism, constant favouritism has benefited them. And not benefited the club. Maybe it was all part of the plan, you know, go 2-0 down, make them feel nervous. Wolves are beating West Ham, by the way. Raul Jimenez, that's a big goal in that game because West Ham obviously in the top. Then again, I'm acting like we're winning. You know, that was always based on the assumption that we were going to win and close the gap on top four. So the thing is, the players confuse me anyway, because that first half was so bad, and then second half they're better, and you almost feel like in the first half, you know, what a pass by Donny. Ronaldo. Oh, he should have scored. He should have scored. It was a lovely pass by Donny van der Beek. He gets Ronaldo in and Ben Foster does his job. Donny is absolutely killing this game. I've checked the tweet at Mark Goldbridge. It will stand and it's going to probably stand all half. It's just the goals are there. The goals are there. 57 and 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The fact that Donny van der Beek comes on and scores is enough to sack Ollie anyway, due to what he's done to this kid's career, says Paul. And the fact Ben Foster clears that. The reaction would be fine at the end of the game after losing, but 35 minutes is early, says NM. Oh, he's still going on about it. Bloody hell. Ignore that. Mark, if he doesn't play Donny next game, I will be at a loss for words, says Nature Videos. He shouldn't be in charge next game. Like, bloody hell, why are we still keeping him in charge? Yeah, but what I was going to say, they confuse me, the players, because in that first half, it looks to me like they've downed tools. And then in the second half, and we saw this last year, though, you know, how can we be so bad so consistently? And then there's a bit of a reaction and we play quite well. It's almost like, I think somebody sort of needs to do a bit of research on it, because, and what I mean is like on football mentality, because I think when you're 2-0 up in a game, you automatically probably think the game is won. And United almost start playing when when the opposition think the game's done, because Watford's intensity has dropped. There's no doubt about that. If Watford had just carried on with the same intensity, and it's not, you know, people say, well, you can't play with that intensity for 90 minutes. But I mean, you know, just that approach, it's almost like you get into this complacency when you're 2-0 up and you think the game's won and you go more defensive, and United benefit from that. Even Sancho looks much better now. He's got a CM who can find him in space, as Ash G. Also, I think United have started to attack instead of, you know, we were playing very deep. I think we've had to go, you know, you're 2-0 down at half time. You've got to go on the attack, haven't you? Donny's definitely the outfield man of the match so far, yeah. I'd still say Davide as man of the match. He's made some very big saves in this game. It's Donny's class above the rest. Ollie's blind, says Tariq. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're very welcome to the channel, United Stand. We've got a fan forum. We've got a match reaction where you can do your player ratings. I think I know who's going to do well in those player ratings. I think it's going to be a certain Mr. Van der Beek and Mr. De Gea. But Watford aren't going to give up. And it's a goal kick. So it's a game of two halves. What's your score predictions, everybody? I think United will win 3-2. It's got Southampton vibes of last year. I mean, Watford are starting to give up a lot of possession here. Duck, thank you very much. Next goal's the key. I mean, I wouldn't rule Watford out getting another goal. I think another goal would probably kill us off half an hour to go. But 3-3 Burnley Palace. What a game that's been. I think it's a free kick and it's a yellow card to Harry Maguire here. On the edge of the box. Out of position, out of ideas, too slow. He's no Van Dijk, is he? If Ollie gets the sack, then so should Neville and Keane from Sky for ridiculously backing him. This has done nothing but harm the club, says Foldy. Oh, don't worry, the streets won't forget. To see how much this means to Donny is the only thing good about this match, says Zhao. How now just Martial to score and Neville will call it Ollie tactical masterclass, says Maz. If Ollie gets the sack there, I've done that one. Sancho from the putting crosses in would have thought of that, says Wayne. If you can see the differences, class between Donny and McTominay, then you shouldn't be involved in football, let alone manager of United, to Sean Turner. How many times have we spoken about it, Sean? I'd grab Roy Keane by the scruff and show him all the games Donny's been involved in and ask him if he's still an average player, says Matthew. Well, look, I've heard a lot of people slate Donny over the last year, and I've always stood by the fact that he deserves the chances that McTominay and Fred have had and failed in. So still of the opinion Lindelof is our worst defender, says KMW. He gets bullied by everyone. I'm not a massive fan of him. to be honest with you. Substitution for Watford as well. Kadaki, who's this Donny guy? He just gave me his bib. I think I just stepped on some gum, Kadaki, says US 45. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We'll have player ratings coming out for you in about 10 minutes, which you can start to vote for. But at the moment, half an hour to go. Donny's done more in 20 minutes than McFred in 20 games, is Ryan FTW. The thing about McTominay is he's a bench player. He should be on the bench. A double substitution here for Watford, actually. Clearly, Donny's game improved Sancho's game. What kind of manager is Ollie? He should understand this sort of chemistry and select his team. Well, we've spoken about this many times before. Sancho will benefit from playing with a player like Donny. Bruno will benefit from playing with a player like Donny. And therefore, Ronaldo will benefit from playing with a player like Donny. Donny's grit and passing lifts the team and brings Sancho, etc., into the game, says Humphrey. Yeah, it's the way Liverpool play. It's the way Man City played. To be fair, it's the way Watford played in the first half. It's what they do. Well, there's a tackle here. Unbelievable how Ollie can't see Donny's qualities. Van der Beek's gone right through him. I think he got the ball first. Just got to be careful. Got to be a bit careful here. Sancho just tells him to get away. I don't think there's... Apparently, Aguero's retired, which is very sad. How can everyone see Donny's quality but not Ollie, says Tariq. A few people are talking about a red. I don't think it's going to be a red. There's a Watford player down injured. Apparently, Aguero has retired. Don't know whether he... No, he hasn't retired. I don't know what that's all about. Just a Watford player down injured here. Boom, 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 boom. Scores in the other games at the moment. Brentford are beating Newcastle 3-2, which would be a massive result for Brentford and a terrible result for Newcastle. Wolves are beating Watford 1-0. Villa and Brighton 0-0. Palace and Burnley 3-3. Norwich and Southampton 1-1. Gerrard 0-0 in his first game. Difficult first game at home to Brighton, actually. Potter's Brighton have been very, very good. It's a fact that we play better football with Martial and Donny. Ollie doesn't deserve them, says NYYK. Well, you know, the interesting thing would be if we found a way of winning this game, Ollie would be thinking, Kabaki, I've got to pick Donny, but how many games can I do it before I bring McFred back? You know, to be honest, if we won this game 3-2, I would sack Solskjaer because of how he's treated Donny van der Beek. You genuinely think Ollie has gone after this, says CM? No. Would Zizou take the job, says Ricardo? I don't know about that. I think it's Sarr who got injured by Donny. So if he's injured, that really doesn't help Watford at all and helps us a lot. So they're down to 10 men at the moment. But it was a tasty tackle by Donny. I mean, a couple of inches the other way, and it could have been a red, but United's defence is a bloody nightmare, isn't it? Oliver says he's still Ollie out. I mean, why would you change your mind? What would change your mind? I can't see Sarr coming back on. Okay. Plenty of time for United. Yeah, definitely. Rashford and McTominay subbed at half-time. 2 players carrying injuries during the break. Ollie never learns, despite acknowledging he overplays players. Matic has just shot wide. That was from Michael, by the way, Michael Nelson. Stephen the Hazard says Aguero has retired. Mark Gerard Romero confirmed it. Also noticed surely Ollie has to go after this. So Stephen, very sad that Aguero is retired. You know, no one wants to see people retiring because of health issues. Obviously, he came off for Barcelona, didn't he, because of a heart condition. I mean, look, very, very sad for Aguero, but I mean, Barcelona must feel like they're absolutely cursed as a football club at the moment. Lost Messi, bring Aguero in, they lose him, you know. But yeah, obviously the biggest issue there is for Aguero. At least I suppose the only positive from that is he's had a career. You know, he could have played on for a little bit longer, but, you know, he's had a career. Some people saying it's about vaccines. I'm not getting into anything to do with that. Lingard's warming up now. Well, there's a red card, apparently. Some people are talking about a red card for Harry Maguire. Well, I don't know. I've not heard anything about this. Oh, God. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Ollie looks a prat. These critics are going to get proved wrong. He controls it badly. The player skips in. He takes him down. Second yellow card, red card. You know what? You couldn't write this. Ollie, it's like a list of how Ollie can make himself look a prat. Donny comes on and scores. He doesn't start Donny. He starts McTominay. 2-0 down, dominated. Brings Donny on. Donny scores. Looks like we're getting back into it. Maguire gets sent off. It's like the list of why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should get sacked. It's just... I mean, you hate to be right as a fan, but everything the fan base has said, why do you keep picking McTominay and Fred? They're shit. Why is Maguire not being, you know, rested or dropped or taken out? You know, he's like, Ollie's like this, la, 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 I'm right, la, 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 la. You know, it's just like people aren't calling these issues out for a laugh. They're calling these issues out because they are issues. Anthony says Maguire just got Ollie the sack. Well, he won't have done that. He won't have done that in purpose. I mean, people are talking about fingers and ears now. Yeah, I don't think Maguire's going to walk off like that, do you? He might do that to Ollie, but he likes Ollie. At the end of the day, it's just you know what? That's the story of Maguire's season, really. And the problem now is we're down to 10 men. What do you do down to 10 men with 20 minutes to go? I'd probably get Fred on for Matic. But there's still players on the pitch for United who can score goals. Donny and Sancho have linked up so well. Ronaldo again. I mean, Ronaldo could have had 2 goals off Donny if he'd finished. What do you think of Ranier Lowe as manager? Also, Maguire gets sent off for a tackle on Cleverly of all people, says Ragaf. Mark, am I actually asleep and this just as bad? Nightmare, says Martin. What do you think? So sad to watch Ollie high five Harry, says Ethan. Where'd this Donny guy come from? Pulling some strings this half. See him release Sancho just now, says Sean Finity. Ethan says it's sad to see Harry high fiving. I don't think that's sad. That's just stupidity. You know, the manager's an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, he's been stubborn, and his stubbornness has destroyed this season for United. Like, even if we went on and won this game, we can already see we're not going to do anything good this season. We are playing a team that is going to get relegated, in my opinion, and we are battling to try and get a result. Like, you know, even if we do get a result, it doesn't bode well for playing good teams, does it? Watch him take Donny off for a defender, says US. Yeah, probably. No, he surely wouldn't do that. It's scary if we don't get something out of this game. We're 12 points off Chelsea, and then if they beat us next season, next week we could be 15 points off the top, and it's not even December. I remember saying after the Leicester game, I fear we could be 10 points. No, I said it before the Leicester game. I said it in the international break. I said before the Leicester game, I said we could be 10 points off by Christmas. I'm wrong. We could be 15 points off before December, which is absolutely ridiculously bad. But, you know. Harry Maguire. There's a lot of pictures of Harry Maguire with his hands in his ears. You know what? Roy Keane will be sat there with a sly grin on his face because Ollie said so-called experts. And you know what? You should never start talking big before you've played. You know, we need a revolution by the fans. Whole management structure needs to change, says Mr. Dude. You never know. Being down to 10 men might help us, you know, get a point. It's a great point. It's like winning the league. Ollie, should we bring on Ahmed? No, Carricker didn't bring him. You what? Says JJ45. Donny's performance is exposing Ollie for exactly who he is, says Milverton. No, but, you know, Roy Keane said it was embarrassing what Harry Maguire did against Albania because Roy Keane knows football and knows that that's not in a Man United shirt against a poor side. And, you know, it's the risk of doing something like that as well. There is a massive risk attached to doing something like that because what if it backfires? And it's, you know, you couldn't write it really. You could. I actually thought Harry Maguire would score today. I thought we're playing Watford, stat pad, get a result, but no, not even in a game like this. Newcastle have equalised. Loads of goals in the Prem today. Not that doesn't help us, of course, but need some United goals. Player ratings is open, by the way. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. You can do that through the link in the video description. It is there. We'll be going through that on the match reaction, of course. United still attacking. It's a weird game, really. Good play by Sancho. It's a weird game for United because, I tell you what, I will be honest. On a different day, Ronaldo could have had a hat trick. It's a good cross by Sancho, and Ronaldo heads it over. But it could play into our hands a little bit because they're 2-1 up. It's a massive result for them against 10 men. Again, their heads might be, oh, we're going to win. That might play into our hands. I'm clutching at straws here. It's the only thing we've got. Watford make another sub. Well, we've got about 20 minutes to go. Currently, Watford lead. It's been a weird game. Really weird game. Definitely one to, well, hopefully, I don't know whether I would watch it back on Match of the Day tonight, but it's been a weird one. Without a shadow of a doubt. Harry Maguire sent off. Means he won't play against Chelsea. Will Varane be back? He'll have to be back. Martial, this could be a goal. Offside. Ronaldo. I thought it was offside. Chances are there for Manchester United, though. There's definitely bloody time. You got to start thinking about, ooh. Miles off, Ronaldo. Absolutely miles off. Don't worry about that. I think unless he wins, he's got to go tonight. Yeah. But I've got no confidence in it happening tonight. I've got to be honest. I mean, I thought we would win tonight, and you know, I don't. That's not a jinx. I'm not. You know, I think there's every logical reason that United should have won tonight, but today. But then again, you look at it and you go, well, is it any surprise that we lose? And I suppose it isn't. But there's still time in this game. We're playing against 10 men and we're creating chances. Bruno over the bar. Yeah, I don't. You know what? I look at that Bruno chance. I look at some of the Ronaldo chances, and I just do think, are they really doing their best? You know, I know. It just feels to me like some Ronaldo shots today. I mean, look at this one for Bruno on the edge of the box. All the time in the world, and it's way over. It's a bit like that penalty. Are the players now just like... I've noticed we've created more chances for our number 9 this second half, and we've stopped doing long balls, says Dons. I think the players have checked out. Hard work for United now, yeah, definitely with 10 men. Maguire sent off. Matic just played 90 minutes. He won't play again till New Year now. He'll be bloody knackered. Mark, the tools are not operating is the kind way to say it, says Milverton. And Jonesy, get your pink boots ready. We've got Chelsea next Sunday, says Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer. Petulance from Maguire. Ollie high-fives him as he comes off. Mata shakes his head at Ollie, has to say, what the hell are you high-fiving him for? Shambles, says Joe. And I've noticed we've created more chances for our number. Yeah, I've done that one from Dons as well. Thanks for all the super chats. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Corner here to Watford. 10 minutes to go. Links in the video description if you want to do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. What, West Ham still losing to Wolves? Newcastle, 2-3-3 games. Newcastle, Brentford and Burnley, Palace, 3-3 there. 0-0 with Brighton and Villa. And Norwich are beating Southampton 2-1. Ooh, that's interesting. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the channel. It could be a very interesting few days. We're playing Villarreal on Tuesday evening. So it could be a very interesting few days if this result stays the same. Well, I think even if we draw, you've got to be asking big questions. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Obviously, we've got Adam at the game. He'll be doing his vlogs. Fan forum, my match reaction with the player ratings as well. Going to be an interesting next few minutes that will then lead into an interesting few days, I believe. Depends. I think it's the sort of game, if United made it 2-2, they'd probably sit back and try and just keep it. I don't think they'd go for 3-2. Watford, they found the extra man here. Both Ronaldo and Bruno must be lacking motivation with the loss with Portugal, says Iram. Another corner for Watford. Why don't you keep pushing for protest marks, says Ali Roach? Because I know how these work, and this has got to come from fan groups as well. You know, Mark, don't even look annoyed that United are losing, says Jamie. No, I don't, and I don't have any regrets about that. I don't apologise for it. I think that I said 15 minutes before the game, we were talking about when Solskjaer are going to get sacked. I said this morning, I feel depressed around United. It's like the club have created this situation. They've absolutely sucked the life out of this team. So, yeah, it's a real shame. But what can you do? Can we start blocking the twats who are doing the emojis, please? Because I want to read chats out. I don't want to see stupid clown face things. So, yeah, we'll just block those lot. We need Zidane in to save the season and the club, says LJ Snooker. And I do not understand that Ollie is respected, but the players should do better no matter what. They might not like the tactics, but they are pro players, says Chris. Harry's been watching us. He knows Ollie won't drop him, so he's dropped himself, says Jay. Luke Shaw is coming off here. Mark, it's Donny. It's crazy how one player in the midfield makes Sancho, Bruno all look much better. Donny makes us look so much more aggressive. Delo's coming on now. Luke Shaw's gone off. So all these players that have been overplayed and stuff, and they're all going off injured. Onto the roof of the net. Time's moving on a little bit here for United. It's so embarrassing and depressing, says Real Jarvis, on what Ollie has done. And Neil says, Mark, I've done that one from Donny. Okay. Villa are winning. Stevie G effect. Ollie Watkins, 84 minutes. The Stevie G effect kicks in. Our real issue is Harry Maguire. He does not deserve to be a first-team player in this team over Bay and Twansebi, says Arch. Ronaldo's just gone down. Aiden says it's very embarrassing. I don't like this. Oh, Ronaldo. I thought he might have caught one in the face. I don't think he did. I think he's just been sandwiched and landed badly, but he's all right. I'm meant to be doing an Arsenal-Liverpool watch-along at 5:30. I've got to react to this game first, do the match reaction. Still 5 minutes to go. Opinions on Ronaldo tonight. It's not been, in all honesty, it's not been one of his best games. Good unselfish assist for Donny van der Beek, but I do think he had enough sort of chances to maybe. I fancied Ronaldo to do a little bit better. Is Ronaldo playing for the manager? It's a hard one, isn't it? It's a hard one to predict. But remember, this is at the moment for United. This would be 4 points from 21. They'd have to sack him. But my concern is, seriously, let's just talk about this a minute. If they sack Solskjaer tonight, Fabrizio's going to be happy, says Red Harlow. He's probably recording his video now. He's probably out tonight, so I'll do it now. But Sky, sorry, Mark, I meant Ollie is responsible, not respected, says Chris. No worries. If they do sack him tonight, they'll probably make Carrick and McKenna the bloody interims. We have all this is what Ollie sings to Carrick. We have all the time in the world for love, nothing more, just love and vibes. Has he got all the time in the world? I don't know. But he's still the coach. Still time. There's not time to win. For me, a draw is a shit result as well. Like, I'd get to the point now where, for me, the decision should have been made already, as we've said many times before. But even a draw is not a draw at Watford's not a good result. It's not like, oh, it's a good result in the circumstances. It's a terrible result. You were played off the park in the first half. You were lucky to be able to come out in the second half and have an opportunity to have, something. The trouble with the manager is, I think some people almost did want to believe that there was a there was a turnaround to come, but what could he say in the next press conference? Like, there was nothing he could really say after Man City. What can he say in a press conference after this? Like, he's already told us about how everyone's going to prove everybody wrong. We'll see a reaction. Villa are winning 2-0, by the way. Tyrone Mings. Lingard's coming on for a minute. He might do it. Jesse. Get me a bit of magic, Jesse. The board are useless. I, for one, will never forgive them for the humiliation they've continued to put us through, says the RPG Gamer. Ashley, thank you very much for the membership there. And thanks everyone who's watching. Match reaction coming up after this. Watford. I'm surprised Watford haven't actually made it 3. Wonder how long the ref's going to add on here. Five minutes, apparently. He's took Sancho off for Lingard. So much for players trying to silence critics. The standards of Maguire and McTominay. Credit to Van der Beek and Sancho doing what they were always meant to do, says Jagan. I don't think Magaluf McFred is no more about football nor about favoritism. I think it's sexual now, says Arch. Okay. Season's ruined. If we fail to get top 4, it's due to their lack of knowledge and not sacking him after Liverpool, says Hugh Edens. I think the club have got a massive part to play in this. If you look at the league table now, we've got Chelsea next week. You've got to say we won't beat Chelsea. So it's top 4. We could be 10 points off top 4 at Christmas. David De Gea makes a great save. Great save by David De Gea. But not from the second one. It's over. 3-1. Watford have got it. I think De Gea could have done better on that one. He just made a great save. But it's 3-1 to Watford. Over and out. Manchester United. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Pedro. No way, Pedro. Yes way, Pedro. There will be no coming back from this. Like the thing for me is that the game, we're not winning this game anyway. As soon as it goes into stoppage time, we're not winning the game as soon as Maguire gets sent off. But the thing for me is that we had 2 weeks to sack a manager, and we decided not to do it. My last tweet says it all at Mark Goldbridge. This is on Ed Woodward. This is Ed Woodward deciding he doesn't want to sack a manager because it can get turned around. Just ridiculous. I mean, are they seriously going to try and stick with him still? 4 points from 21. 4 points from 21. That's relegation. That's not a blip. That is relegation form. 4 points from 21. That's what we're on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff. I refuse to be in the Europa League. Alpha Gaming's right. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, says Alpha Gaming. That they've just got to end this now. They've got to end it tonight. Now. It has to end. It should have ended in the international break. It has to end now. Press the button. Press the button and end it. Like, he's got to go. Do you think United still have a shot at the title? The funny thing is, if they'd sacked him in the international break and we'd won today, we'd still be 9 points off Chelsea. But if we had a bit of momentum and you beat Chelsea next week, you're 6 points off. You know, whatever happens, the inability to do anything in the international break has massively cost United. You know, they should have done something on the international break. Where's Sam? Watching time. Well, I got the scoreline right. I said 3-1. I just said it to United. Apparently, it's 4-1. Fucking hell. Oh, God. It's just. I mean, if you don't laugh, you cry. I mean, it is 4-1. It is 4-1. I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of it. He shouldn't even be manager. He shouldn't even be here to inflict this. This is a fucking embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. This is the lowest of the low. Like, this is lower than it. This is the lowest of the low. You know, Mourinho was a bloody legend compared to this prat. Van Gaal was a legend. They won trophies. They just missed out on top four. This is embarrassing. This is 3 years of over £400 million for this. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh, I wonder what Gary Neville's saying now, eh? What you got to say now, Gary? Fucking joke. Call it out for what it is. Call it out for what it is. Call it out for what the fans said it is. Call it out and get him out. Absolutely fucking joke. Absolutely ridiculous. 4-1 to Watford. 4-1. Well, I might not be doing a watch-along for Arsenal-Liverpool tonight, because if Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer isn't sacked tonight, I'll be absolutely stunned. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm drained. We've had 3 fucking weeks of this as fans. It's been a horrific 3 or 4 weeks. And the club have allowed this. And they're not ready. They're not ready to do anything. This is the scary thing. They're not ready to do it. They're not ready to sack him. Because if they did, they would have done it. 4-1. 4, what was it? 4 against Leicester. 4-1 against Watford. 5 against Liverpool. Man City could have been anything. Oh, Jesus Christ. Absolute shit. I'm stunned. Links in the video description for your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10. 6 being the average. We're going to go over to the match reaction. I will see you there in a minute or so, and we will digest this shit. and discuss what happens from here.